All right. I had to take off last week because funeral and just wasn't in the right mindset. So we do writers this week. There has only been one writer added since I started doing tier lists, or since the last time I like actually did writers, and that's Andromeda over here. Uh, there are a lot of writer welfares. There are a lot of them. They're not going to be listed here, but because this is just a remnant of the old lists. For next year, I'm probably just gonna remake all these, just so there's nothing like bogging it down. Because I think I did make these lists like 2+ years ago and just modified it. So, brief overview: MP1 for all these servants. If I mention them at a higher copy, it's not gonna affect their placement. I'm just like saying like, oh, they work better at higher copies, but for this, we have to keep it there. um Max skills, max mana loading, and skill reloading in case characters like say Takeda Shingen, where their looping is definitely like affected by whether they have certain depends unlocked or not. And now we can switch. So yeah, if you need one or the other, I will mention it. So EX, what they do, uh it's either they do it so well that it's like there's no other placement for it, or if it's like something like super generic, just like AoE looping, probably only one character for that category is gonna go up there. Uh, A plus is for characters that could go into EX, but because EX is supposed to be like the best, I don't want it to be like, oh, Charlemagne and Okita are both EX. No, whoever I think is better is going in EX, and then the other one goes in A plus. Uh, Extremely niche is for if a character does one thing and they do it really good, or no other servant does it. Um, this is also for if a servant, if it's too niche, but they're also a general buffer, but their niche like elevates them. I probably will put them in extremely niche because it would only work with a couple characters over like the whole game. And then don't use it all. All right. So we are going to be going through in the servant ID. And as you can see, we just skipped the whole first line and we start with Marie Antoinette, the first 4-star I got in FGO. So, Marie, very, very low base attack. And I don't even think her HP is that high either. Star weight, star gen, rider numbers, MP charge at 1%, but terrible hit counts. So we're just going to move on because these are just bad and there's no saving them. First skill, charm one enemy for one turn and a charisma. It's not 100% charm, but oh well. Second skill, invul for 3 attacks with no duration. So this is PFA. Yeah, this is protection from arrows, but invul. And she also heals up too. And then third skill, Grace of God, mental debuff success rate 30%, so that this charm is guaranteed if the opponent doesn't have magic resist. And another little heal. So getting just looking at this, her main weakness is that this is her only steroid, a 20% attack buff. That is nowhere near enough. MP 5 hit AoE quick, damage to all enemies, full cleanse, crit damage ramp up, and another heal. And the last thing, party sergeant up 20% while she's on the field. I do want to just double check her refund real quick before um I place her because I have not looked at her as a looper in a very, very long time. And I just want to get refund numbers before I just start placing. So pause in recording and we'll be back in a second. So I did not feel like testing Marie with 50% charge because I'm already seeing like kind of where she's standing right now. Oh, 1 second. All right, yeah. Music was still playing from when I was doing the calcs. So, Marie, she actually does kind of decent damage. I'm not saying this is great, but like for it just being triple Scotty, like even I mean, this is like 130,000. Like it's good because she's fighting casters, and for this entire tier list, we're only going to be fighting casters because for a lot of these riders, they're kind of balanced around them fighting casters, not them fighting berserkers or even neutral. So yeah, cut this in half. It's like 118,000. I do want to like bring attention to this refund. She's at 80% with just triple Scotty. Uh if she was to get a battery, I do think Marie could like be looping fairly good and actually have decent refund. If sh Yeah, in particular, if she gets a battery plus MP gain, I she is going to be able to like put on black rail and loop. Because this is black rail damage. Um Again, this is only MP1. Uh and I'd rather we just stick to because for Valks in the Lancer list, I like spent a lot of time trying to calc where they were and if they hit a breakpoint. I kind of just don't have the time today to do that. Um but yeah, Nero Bride with Marie Antoinette, she loops 80% in this first wave. Really unfortunate that can't bring Oberon into like double Scotty already. So that's why I'm saying like if Marie was able to get a 30 battery with MP gain, like she would just be a fine black rover on base. But this tier list is talking about how they perform in game, not how they could perform. People don't use Marie for looping, and her kit is very defensive and low like just offensive power. Um Currently, mm, yeah, currently there just isn't a need for Marie. This crit damage isn't enough for what it's supposed to be. She's kind of just trying to do a whole bunch of stuff all at once while not having like the best time. Like she does have like some multi-core utility, but it's not great. Uh yeah, you're okay. Yeah, I wouldn't put you in D because like that your looping numbers do look good. It's just you're not built for looping. Not right now, at least. Next up, Martha. Okay, upstairs, like good gain, but terrible hit counts. Again, very low base attack, somehow even lower than Marie, even though Martha is supposed to be a Buster servant. HP, it's okay. Uh, yeah, debuff resist 100% and a little bit of healing. They they actually gave a buff like that this where they gave 500 more health and that was it. And they called that a buff. Her third skill literally saves her ass. Holy shit. Like this is the best part of her entire kit. Full debuff buff strip with 30% defense down for 3 turns. Mad resist A, 20% debuff resist. Riding A double plus 11.5% quick up. She's not farming. She has anti berserker. Yeah, one hit to all enemies with the Buster buff. Defense down after damage. what the fuck are you supposed to use her for? I will say that buff strep is really, really nice. It again, that's on skill 3 though. Um I would not even use her for like anything besides the buff strip. Yeah, no, I would not use Martha seriously, um, except for buff strip and maybe applying defense down if you have the MP to do it because 50% defense down is still 50%. Um, do I really want to go right to extremely niche or just Spider and D? Yeah, no. This is not niche enough. That D stuff strip is not niche enough. You have one good skill and that's it. Yeah, your ruler version is just so much fucking better. Like holy shit. Next up, we have Drake. Finally get the taste of shit out of my mouth. All right. Yeah, like so this looks so much better like off rip. Base attack good for 5 star. It's not where it needs to be at like 11.5k, but 11.3 isn't far off. It's not enough to matter. HP, this is pretty bad. This is very low HP. Careful if you fight assassins, Drake is probably going to get crit to death very quickly. But why are you bringing riders to fight assassins in the first place? Starway, gotta stop talking about Starway and Stargen because these are always consistent. But rider numbers, MP charge at 0.42%, but she has really decent hit cards. Like even the 0.42, like this is in line with 4 arts cards for like actual art servants. 6 hit quick card, really nice. Those mighty chains go. But I wouldn't even say it as a refund. Like just like for a rider, this would actually gen a good amount of stars in a mighty chain. But even still, this not the best kind of like deck. Like these hit, yeah, on a rider, like you just shouldn't be expecting to be genning too many stars. All right, first skill, Voyager of the Storm, party wide MP damage and attack. Something to note now with Append 5 is that when on turns with Koi and Skya, you are actually able to double pop this in the same turn at a 4 turn cooldown. Um, this only works if you have not already popped Koi and Sky's 50 batteries, because the second you pop one of them, you lose your chance of actually doing this. Um, and even in normal farming, you technically could do this. You just don't pop this skill on turn 1. You wait to turn 2. If it's a higher health wave, you pop this skill and then start doing coin sky batteries. And then you have the choice to pop this again or save it for next turn. Do I think this skill is that good? Not really. I'd rather have like tactics, like the buff tactics with like 20% MP damage for the whole party for 3 turns and like some other effect. But like I do understand like this is almost, it's not mana burst level, but it is good party wide buffs if multiple people are MPing. That's the other thing. This is party wide, not single target. So if you can MP the same turn, do it. You get more out of it. Second skill, MP gen up 45% for 3 turns, Buster up 20%, and defense pierce for 3 turns. Best part of the skill, because she also has Invul Pierce. She gets it from skills. So there are times she doesn't have Invul Pierce or Defense Pierce, but those are going to be less than half the time because this has both of these are on 6 turns. So they're up for 3, down for 3. But again, when we're talking about Coin Skya, that's not the case most of the time. And it can come back. It can last a little longer, just depending. Passive skills 12.5 debuff resist and quick up. Skill reloading. Oh, also, speaking of skill reloading, you are able to pop this on turn 2, so you get better turn 2 damage than previously. Mana loading is more for setups and black rail looping with uh like but again those teams are very very party cost heavy. So would not place her on her black rail looping strictly because like the party cost is insane with you having to pick Summer Chloe along with all the other buster farming stuff. Anti archer and yeah. MP basic bitch, damaged all enemies, no normal effect, dropped 20 stars. Uh Truly unfortunate that Drake got such an early MP buff that all they did was increase damage. Uh so looking here. Yeah, these AoE Buster Riders, like if they're not using Black Rail, they're gonna suffer. Like both Drake and Takeda Shingen, their damage shows that it's suffering because they're not using Black Rail. Um when it comes time to do Takeda, I will show his Black Rail team. Drake her team to do Black Rail looping just like literally just cost too much for me to like include it in this tier list. What if I eventually do the spreadsheet for everyone's farming, and like damage numbers and everything? I will like have it listed there, but not for this list. Um, yeah. So Drake, how do I feel about her? Do think, yeah, she definitely is. Like she's very functional for Buster. It's like she's not missing anything. Like she has double Buster cards. Um, she'll have Vitch to give her the crit damage she doesn't have. Um, oh yeah. Speaking of, I have to. Oh, add rope. Yeah, yeah. Currently, Drake is just lacking like a lot of features that modern servants have, so I can't like put her any higher than this. Without her at least getting one more buff. Um, and yeah, like I don't think they're gonna double buff her MP, but I don't exactly think that's not off the table. Reason being for that, like it's because of the scander. There is really nothing Drake can do to come close to a scander's damage unless they buff her MP again, which again I don't think they're gonna do. Because then it's just gonna be an arms race to like, so like now all these characters need to be in the 30,000. Uh, that is going like we have a lot of like 5 stars that are like barely pushing 20,000, and we're trying to get Drake like matching his standard. Mm-mm. She's solid, she's consistent, and she's got a big 50 battery to make it easier for your farming, and you don't need Oberon. That is definitely something Iskander can't say. He needs Oberon to do his farming. Drake doesn't. Next, and Bonnie married. Pan pirates, Yuri pirates, whatever you want to call them, they don't care what gender you are. They are coming for your booty, and they are going to plunder it as much as they like because they're pirates. Ace attack, 9,000, like almost on the dot. HP again low, but for her specifically, you do want her HP like low. I'm not saying like don't give her foes or anything, but I am saying like the lower her HP is, the easier it is to play into her niches because I believe both her and Archer have the same low HP shit. MP charge 0.84%, but still garbage hit counts. At least these are on par with like Saber numbers, like Artoria, like very funny because they share voice actress of Kawasumi Ayako, and yeah, funny little tidbit on that. Yeah, it counts bad. First skill, Dock and Assault, Guts one time 3 turns with 1 HP. Uh, Pretty much guaranteed taunt to herself for this 1 turn. This is to make sure her guts like actually can proc, so next turn she can take full advantage. Or if the guts isn't procking, it gets you so low that an AOE hit is gonna knock you down, and then you'll have an extra turn to worry about like getting max damage out. This MP gen though is really nice that if she MPs and she actually is able to get back. Um and like continuously spam it. And last thing, little star gen, 50%. It's not a lot, but I believe she's bust. No, she's quick. Quick with 6 hit single target. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. She could use a little more star gen on that. Second skill, 100% crit damage for 1 turn and 25 stars. Honestly, like if you have a crit skill like this, it is important that you have like easy access to stars because again, she also is quick. So if she chooses to do this, try critting on turn 1, now she actually has a chance. And then if she's MPing, she has like stars for next turn to work with. Um, I always do prefer if things are longer, but this is not a farming type of servant. This is a very specific type of servant doing the low HP shit. Last skill, 30% attack for 1 turn and star weight. So yeah, when I looked at Archer, uh, and Body Mary Reed, there was like it was there, like the synergy, but it wasn't like fully there. Uh, this is not the case here. Um, the way and Body Mary Reed plays out, like you don't pop these turn 1, you pop this, basically let her almost get killed, and then you just clap back as hard as fucking possible. She has its Sargen, and she has the crit damage and attack to and star weight, and more than this star weight. This is overkill, by the way. She's already a rider. 600% star weight. Like she's pretty much guaranteed to get all the stars from the star bomb. Magic resist D. Um, this doesn't really matter because she's not going to stay alive long enough for you to get your cooldowns back, or she shouldn't be staying around long enough. No battery. I would maybe get this just so you have something, because just something is better than nothing. Uh, Extra attack. If it's a full crit turn, you are going to see the benefits of this. Yeah. Out of everything, like this should be first, and then this, but now that we can swap a pens, if she ever gets a battery, just swap it over to this. NP 6 hit single target. And she has extra damage scaling. So this I double checked how extra damage and everything works. These hits basically go through the same calculations that this would go through, or you can just add it together. It really doesn't matter. Just because like it's not in a part of the formula where adding these together is gonna result in an error. It's like 1600 times blah 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 plus 1200 plus blah 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 blah, the same stuff. You could just add them together for 2800 um or not. It really doesn't matter in the uh in the grand scheme of things, because sorry to bring up math, but distributive property. If you forgot what that is, yeah, it's fine. I know people don't like math. Vaunty extra crit damage. Okay, so I can only put this character in extremely niche. Because they don't half ass the low HP shit. Yeah, where are you? Pan Pirates. Um yeah, it's like they tried to do that here. Like they tried to have like a lot of that similar synergy. Uh but I don't know. Like this they are trying too hard to be offensive, and they don't play enough into the low HP meme. I feel like if a character is going to do low HP stuff, they have to commit to it. Which is also an issue I have with Ashwataman, where he has it, but he doesn't have a guts to like really abuse it. Like it's just extra damage for extra damage sake. It's not going to help him that much. So yeah, they get saved from what their archer counterpart doesn't. No, it even said when I last did it. All right. All right. Next, we have Astolfo, Uncle Man's favorite servant. If you don't know who Uncle Man is, you poor, sweet, innocent child, you don't understand why Astolfo is as popular as he is. Oh, sorry. I have to imagine giving myself brain bleach because I don't want to think about why he's so popular. All right. Astolfo. Their kid is boring as shit, but they gave Astolfo shit to like make him not feel that bad. He is able to do farming, but you're essentially buster farming with him. And that's kind of how I'm gonna like go about talking about him. Uh he's a wave clearer. But he did get buffed to have a 50 battery. So if you need someone to like, if you literally don't have anyone else to do wave clearing, like even like farming QP kind of can do it and can do it okay. It's just like not ideal. Uh you cannot treat a Stoffel like a looper. Um he has a one hit single target quick MP. No, not single target, AoE. Um if you think one hit arts MPs are bad, one hit quicks are way worse because now they can't even gen stars either. Uh, yeah, his hit counts are not good. His MP gain again not good because his hit counts suck. Even if he's supposed to crit on these cards, they're not gonna refund. First skill, monstrous strength. I'm sure there's another version of that somewhere. Not even 30% attack. Trap of Regalia, not even a guaranteed chance to stun. Oh, thank you, Coco. Bot detected indeed. Vaporized. And third skill, you have a chance of getting this for the turn. Let me explain how this fucking works. Because again, Astolfo just happens to have the most wonky fucking kits out of all characters. So you get all three of these buffs, but every single turn. So hang on. Right. It's calculated for every attack. So it's like Morgan buffs, how they're like conditionally there. Um, Basically, you have to roll every time you attack with Astolfo, whether you get this shit. I think this is like some of the dumbest shit. The sergeant, like I believe, rolls at the end of the turn, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, if you're using Astolfo, like you're memeing. You have to be memeing. Yeah. MP defense Pierce is okay. PFA, yeah, like this part kind of saves him, but it'd be different if he was actually able to loop his MP. Then this would actually be okay. But Astolfo is not looping his MP. That shit is not fucking happening. Yeah, and 10 stars. If his face card gains were a lot better, like this wonky kit actually would make sense. But right now, it's taking like five different things that don't make sense and making it a servant. Isn't that fucking like Astolfo by definition? Let's put Monster Energy right by Marie, even though he's English and she's French. And yes, in case you forgot, even though he's one of Charlemagne's knights, he is indeed a prince of England, not French. The French can at least the French can at least deny like claiming Astolfo. He's not one of us. He's not like us. All right. Now we have Ira from Don to Don. And to me, it actually is kind of crazy that she has like Musashi and Mabe have the same voice actress. But Ira and Mabe are the same fucking person. She just got isekai'd. So, Queen Thought is a writer, if you couldn't tell. But I'm sure you've seen her infamous quest lines for why she's a writer. She enjoys writing men. She enjoys writing men. And that's why she's this class. Nasu, based. We'll just say based. Base attack, it is low. HP is significantly higher because she likes taking the punishment. MP charge, decently healthy at 0.86%. And she has a 7-hit extra attack. Uh no, I can't think of a sex joke for that. My bad. I'm flopping. Apparently I'm just not horny enough right now. But I have to stay sober for this. First skill, debuff immunity for 3 turns. Full debuff immunity, by the way, not chance based, so nothing is gonna. Okay, there we go. Uh, Everything is just gonna slide right off her. Nothing is gonna be sticking. Fucking queen, so. I just remember what the name of his skill was. Yes, her substance is not going to be staying outside. It is going to go exactly where it's supposed to go. She gets 10 gauge per turn, and if for male or Fey allies, she gives a 30 battery. Discipline of the Queen. There we go. There's a reason she has to go through this first ascension to get this. I have no idea why she'd what this could possibly mean about discipline of the queen. 20% attack for the party, 20% for male allies, and 4k heal. Third skill, I don't know if this is a sex joke or not. I forget. My dear honey. I think this just might be booze. It's either booze or it's something I'm pretty sure I can't actually say on YouTube. Um, I'm I forgot which Twitch streamer had was thinking about doing this. It's either Alinity or Amaranth. One of those two had something to do with what I think this is talking about. Oh my god. Debuff resistance 17.5%, quick up 10%. What's server gonna have a Santa version this year? Oh what? She's an 18. Indeed. No, she like Mabe is an 18 plus servant. Mana loading for since she had oh wait. No. So she does not have a 30 battery, which is a little scuffed because she technically should have a costume to give her Faye. Instead, they made a different character. Shame. She really could have used like getting the Fae trait because it just would have made things better for her. But is what it is. Um, Definitely this though. Try it if you can get this because she has a 7 hit extra attack with like pretty good gains. Like this amped up probably is gonna get you a good amount of refund back. Maybe not in a Buster Brave chain, but like definitely in a Mighty chain. Like this is gonna get you a lot of refund. A pen 3. Yes, in a boss fight, you are gonna be able to double stack the defense down. Or no, not double stack it, but you're gonna be able to use it twice before cooldowns start going away. Um yeah, and she only double stacks 20%. Okay, MP, single target, super effective against males and reduces mental debuff resistance, so charm, so that this has a higher chance to land because the base chance is only 80. So more likely than not in an actual boss fight, you probably aren't popping this turn 1. It's gonna be turn 2. Little but if you are using Coin Sky, you can kind of risk just not charming. The turn I was gonna say like turn 3 charm mattered more, but that's more if the fight lasts longer than 3 turns. Uh, yeah. Okay. So Queen Thought, where'd she go? I mean, yeah. Right now she's at A. She might go up higher. I think her kit favors multi-core too much, but she can stand on her own as a single target DPS. Like she works really, really well with multi-core, not just with males, but also Fae, but especially men. She like really gets their spirits up, if you know what I mean. So yeah, she can stay in A. A tier just thought. Like she even has the common sense to wear white for this shit, so there's no stains. All right, Iskander's up next. Iskander is one of the few characters in the game that actually got a buff to his base stats. If you don't have go through the interlude, his MP gain is 0.66. After interlude, it's 0.86. Does this matter a lot? No, only on face card refund, which I mean that that is important to think about. Uh Good base attack. He's on the other side of like 5-star base attack. It's either like this is the midpoint and he's just slightly above it. 13.2k HP on the lower side and 6 at extra attack. So yeah, his brave chains they look really nice. But from just his quick guard alone, he's not genning stars, but he will gen stars. First skill and his most recent buff. Party charisma 20%. The entire party gets ignore defense for 3 turns, and he has a 30% battery. People rejoice because the scanner finally can do farming, and not only is his base MP damage very high in comparison to his competition. Okay, he's not here. Um, I will like I'm not going to show it, but I know in when he got this buff, I calced what his MP damage was, and I know it was above 300,000. I remember very clearly that Iskander's MP damage for farming on turn 3 with Oberon was well above 300,000. So the fact that he can do farming and he is the highest damaging AoE rider using 50%. Um, when it comes to talking to Shingen, that's what when I'll do the calcs for both him and Iskander. But for right now, like take my word for it. Iskander's MP damage, or you can do the math for yourself on the place over here. Um, calc it for yourself. Um, he hits very very hard, and this 30 battery. I know everyone's like upset that Lasagna keeps giving us 30 batteries, but that's more on Lasagna's end for not giving 30 batteries to servants in the first place. Agree or disagree? Second skill, tactics, 20% AoE along with crit damage. Third skill, 50% buster buff and star gen for 1 turn. Speaking about cooldown reduction and everything, this is on a 6 turn, but because of skill reloading, you are able to pop this back to back turns, turn 2 and turn 3, meaning that for your turn 3, you will have a good amount of stars to crit. If you happen to get a Buster Brave Chain that turn, you are that is the best option for you. If you get it turn 2, um, like the Buster Brave Chain, especially if the enemy, like one of the enemies, is super tanky, it's not the worst thing. Like Buster farming in general always plans around you not refunding anything you're not supposed to be doing face cards. So he's able to do it while planning around not having face cards. Like any other refund just kind of lets him get away with more shit. Magic Resist D, Riding A plus, Divinity C for extra tickle. Uh Appends 2 and 3 are, well, 2 is mandatory. You need 2 if you want to farm with him, while Append 5 kind of just makes it so he can you have a little more agency with when you want to pop this first skill. Cuz like there is an appeal of popping this turn 1. Don't get me wrong, like have it like if it's a 313 node, like you're definitely going to want to pop this turn 1, so turn 2 like you're able to crit, especially if you didn't plan on critting with a scanner. Like if it's multi-core and you have another single target DPS, uh like they're going to have all the stars, so even if their MP doesn't kill, they're at least going to be able to crit, or a scanner will be able to crit next turn. Anti-lancer, extra attack, he gets benefits from it, but he himself isn't that much of a crit servant. Again, a farmer slash sub DPS. MP, 8 hit AoE, reduces defense after damage, and reduces their crit chance again after damage. Iskander sits comfortably at A plus. Towards the end, I might bump him up. It will really depend on like what Takeda Shingen like looks like, or yeah, it's just gonna depend on what Takeda Shingen looks like. Nasu made Mabe a servant just to do fan service. I mean, yeah, yeah. Like someone said that about John too. They made John because they wanted fan service for like Saber's face, but not Saber. Like I'm like 99% sure John the Arc was made for sex appeal, and like Saber was not made for sex appeal. Uh, or with sex appeal in mind. I just want to preface that. All right, next. All right, we're 40 minutes in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Yeah, no, this might take this is though is gonna take a couple hours, but we shouldn't be like super far behind. I mean, we're literally almost done with part one as is. Okay, no, I don't even have to open this. Ozzy's EX easily. Like there is no contest about this. He is the best single target rider in the game, and he is one of the best single target units, period, in the game. Uh and he's voiced by Dio. So I think that like I know this is gameplay tier list, but like part of gameplay is hearing Dio like the Dio laugh. Um Again, that part is a joke. He's not like Dio like voice actor is not influences listing, but it's fucking Dio chat. Him and Anderson. Yeah, wait, it's him, Anderson, and Miss Festafields, but he barely talks. Yeah. Base attack on the higher end of 5-star attack, almost pushing 12k. HP lower, but don't worry about it. He has like decent uptime on healing and high defense. Very high defense. Hit counts pretty decent. The Buster cards only have one hit, not the biggest deal. These two arts cards, 3 hits, 0.59%. Makes a lot of sense. Quick card, 5 hit. Again, makes sense. Extra attack is not going to be great, but it's fine. There's nothing like bad that's going to bring it down besides like base stats. Like, so don't expect this gen stars outside of a mighty chain. First skill, 20% attack for the party, 10 stars if you're on the sunlight battlefield, aka you see the sun in the background for your game. It is light out. You get the sunlight battlefield. Party crit damage up 30% while on if you activate this on sunlight battlefield. And he brings the sun, so these are guaranteed buffs after the first MP if you're not already on a sunlight battlefield. Most if you're not indoors, like you're outdoors and it's light out, most of the time it counts for sunlight battlefield. This is like one of the most common types of battlefields. It's like this, like obviously like day and night. It's either one or the other, or you're inside. Like if you're outside, it could only be day or it could be night. Second skill, Imperial Privilege, 60% chance for an attack buff, 60% chance for a defense buff, and a heal. Both of these are at 40%. Now you might be thinking, 40%, how the fuck can he be the best if he can't get it? Oh, he guarantees it for everyone in the party, along with giving everyone a 20 battery. His battery situation is probably the most awkward part about Ozzy's kit, but Ivan is a rider. Yes. Yes, he is. Um, yeah. Like Ozzy's biggest weakness is just his battery situation. It's very, very awkward. Um, like just not clean numbers. Uh, but he's also not really a farmer. He is a single target boss fucking nuke that the boss just can't do shit, especially because he fights casters. Because if you didn't know, casters can only have two actions if they're by themselves. So literally any rider is just naturally more tanky if they're only fighting one caster because they don't have to worry about three hits. They have to worry about one hit or two hits or two skills, and that is what they have to fight. Like it really does cement why Ozzy is as good as he is. That like he's up against like the weakest combat class to fight, and he like is just good on his own. That he works against things outside of casters. Magic resist 17.5%. Riding A plus. Divinity for tickle. Yes, because he deals with cooldown reduction. You want this just because it speeds up his own gameplay. The other two you'd probably want, but again, like between these three, it kind of depends on what you're doing. If he's by himself or more like, or you're going for brave chains, this is can't be anything but an improvement. But if you're not doing extra attacks, you're not. This is a waste. Same thing here. You have a faster start, but if he's already like, if you already plan on battering him, like regardless if you have this, like you're just gonna slap like any amount of other kind of charge. Like I don't want to be too specific about this because but like ideal comps for him are a story on themselves. Regarding like not wasting battery. So it's like kind of like you're probably gonna have to waste charge, but it's like it doesn't matter that much. Yep, moving on. 5 hits, single target, damages one enemy, seals their MP, gives sunlight battlefield for 5 turns, and reduces his own skill cooldown while applying defense down. This is like one of the most coherent kits. The next month, if they ever buff him, they're probably gonna buff Imperial Privilege, but or no, they're probably gonna buff this because buffing Imperial Privilege, it's already 100%. Usually for other servants, it's Imperial Privilege gets buffed and then they give them a way to secure it. Not the case with Ozzy. They're probably gonna buff this. I don't know, make it 30, and then make this last for 3 turns, and then like it kind of doesn't need to be puffed after that. Um, yeah, yeah. Easy X. Um, there really isn't. He doesn't have direct competition. Like any competition here is just like you're almost always gonna be thinking I could just be using Aussie and it just makes this better, or it would be easier. Next up, we have the most potato damage if she's not using Black Rail. If she uses Black Rail, it's a different story, but she still is infamous for having potato damage. Surf Mo, decent tan. 9.2k base attack, HP, low. Star MP charge 0.71%. It's crazy because there's a note down here. She had her MP gain doubled at the very start of the game. It used to be 0.33. Now it's 0.71. Uh, thing to note is A, this was before Castoria released. B, what other 5 hit AoE art servants do you know that had that low gain and still became one of the best known servants in the game? Summer Ibuki. If you've ever used Rider Mordred, her MP gauge goes you MP, you pretty much have your MP back unless you're not fighting 3 enemies. And even still, if you're fighting 2 and they're casters, there's a good chance Mordred actually will refund her MP. The issue is damage. This character needs an MP buff so badly, and also one that has MP damage ramp up. Like, not gassing, that is what Mordred actually needs. Like, her base damage is just so low that even with MP damage ramp up, I don't think it's gonna break her. Like, it's fine if she like loops better than Da Vinci. She's always refunded better than Da Vinci. It's just Da Vinci has a floor of like 40. While Mordred is just so good at looping, she just loops. She just needs more damage. First skill, 30% arts up. That's it. Second skill, dodge for 1 turn, 50% star gen again for 1 turn. Third skill, guts, 1 time 3 turns, 30 battery. Her skills are dog shit. Uh this is the only thing that helps with looping and a battery. But it's not like she needs MP gain or anything. Like, this is different from like other servants that need MP gain for them to loop. No, she was already looping before Castoria came out. It's just now with Castoria, she could use a lot more damage. Um, debuff resistance 17.5%. Surfing, arts up 5%. Star gen 5%. Uh, with art servants, you don't need mana loading. It's just nice if she's got a clean 50, but uh, it's not gonna matter that much, and it honestly gives you more options. If you are looping a little short, you still have her battery to use. Uh, this isn't going to matter that much. It does make these have better uptimes, but you're not using Mordred anything for looping. Like, the guts is never gonna proc because you shouldn't be using her in like story fights. You shouldn't be using her to fight enemies. She is only like a looper. That's how, like, until they buff her MP or give her more like a buff, because she hasn't gotten a buff since she originally released. No, this is a buff. This I count this as a buff. MP 5 hit AOE, chance to drain. Her kit is like, her skills are outdated as shit. Her MP fucking sucks for effect wise, but she is still very functional. Uh, like, no, I'm talk shit about her, but compare her to compare even usage rates of Mordred compared to Marie or Astolfo. Like, Mordred is being used more than a lot of these other riders. And especially like QP farming, like, give Mordred like just raw attack, and she's just gonna be farming for you for like hours straight and never worried about not getting her refund. Like, and if you want to do multi-core, you easily can, because like you don't have to dedicate all the buffs for Mordred. She can just kind of go with not as little help as possible, but just like she doesn't need a lot of help in comparison. Again, I am very well aware of how low MP1 Mordred's damage is. Like, it is lower than, well, like, 2, like, it is lower than some of these 2 stars, but again, buffed MP. He has a buffed MP and has way more damage in his kit. But yeah, Mordred needs the MP buff, and then some kind of ramp up on her MP. If they want to give her MP damage, I honestly think that's what she needs the most. And then she'll also like work better in greed farming. she will be one of the best QP farmers if they actually give her an MP buff. Well, no, like again, she doesn't need the MP buff to do QP farming. Um, it's just like with that MP buff, like you can get away with like using even lower cost units. Like you're not gonna have to worry about even like 4-star supports to buff up Mordred to be able to do it. Like, like I'm pretty sure I've already just used her with support Castoria and my Shufu. Um, or like maybe a different art support. Like she really doesn't need help. So that's my justification for putting it in B. Can't move her like any higher because her damage is just like not there, non-existent. Kets. I love this character, chat. I really like her, especially in yeah, like I know it's like the accent and like her talking Spanglish. At least in the dub, yeah, dub. Cats is speaking Spanglish. I'm kind of used to it. Like where I grew up, there were a lot like there's a lot of people of Spanish descent or speak Spanish. So like Spanglish is just something like I heard a lot growing up. Uh like it's like Osaka Behime. Like people don't like Osaka Behime because of how she talks. Like that's not some like that is something the voice directors like make an active choice for with maybe like Type Moon having like oversight. Like I'm pretty sure like Osaka Behime still is speaking neat even in JP. So yeah, like again, is what it is. Good number here though. MP charge 0.9%. And no, if she's critting on these arts cards, it's gonna go up. But she is in the same role as Ozymandias. And they got buffed around the same time. Ozzy got a buff, and then I think Ket's got a buff. Then Ozzy got his MP buff, and Ket's can't do shit. Ket's Ket's now is like a sub DPS while Ozzy is full. So 21% charisma, 25 stars, targetable guts, and buster up, star weight, crit damage, 30 battery. She is able to do single target farming. She's able to do it okay. But she doesn't have uh her MP is just not playing nice with like doing buster farming in comparison to Ozzy. Debuff resistance 20, well, no, Ozzy can do buster farming, not the traditional way. Or yeah, like not starting from 50, he would start from 60. Uh and then he would also need refund. He would also need some kind of refund after. So like he doesn't kill one of the waves. All right. Magic Resist A 20%. God Assistance EX 30%. One of the few characters in the game that has 50% debuff resistance innately. Good luck trying to land anything on her. A lot of shit just slides off. Skill reloading, definitely. Now she's able to double stack this buster buff. Not the biggest thing for farming or not farming, looping, but it's something. She can double stack attack and double stack buster. This, if you're planning to do like single target looping, you need this. She has a 30 battery, so you can start from 50. And again, she's not gonna be doing too much. Um unless she is the main DPS. Like that's again, you're gonna be able to choose these however you want. Is what it is. MP, damage to one enemy, seals your MP, and inflicts burn. Why the fuck is this MP not buffed yet? Why is it hasn't been buffed in like 3 years after Ozzy got his buff? Genuinely, respectfully, Sag. Sag that you are so far from Ozzy when you both used to be around the same level. You like they used to be like interchangeable unless they're giving Kets. Wait. Okay. So I don't want to get anyone's hopes up, but they have been on uh an MP buff spree. I don't want to get anyone's hopes up, but I think the way to buff Kets is they give her the Babanji treatment. Like they lit like same exact thing. They push this first and then they give her a ramp up super effective based on burn. At that point, I truly think now you have a conversation for Ozzy like not letting the enemy have fun and then Cats also not letting them have fun, but also doing like insane burst damage. I hope that's where they go with Cats, but again, who knows? Made Alter, one of the funniest Artorias. Oh my god! Like if you've seen the Ritsuka doesn't understand, where like she is the most professional, unprofessional maid out there. Her solution to a messy room is to fucking light the room on fire, like shoot the room till everything is on fire. That way, everything's burned. It doesn't take up space anymore. Like it's that out of pocket humor that I fucking love about Fate. That they have this many characters that you are throwing together and see. I almost spilled this, like all over my keyboard, and I was about to lose my shit. When am I gonna learn to keep this shit off my desk? All right, talking about King of Meads. 10.7k attack is low for a 5 star. 8 HP is higher to compensate. MP charge 0.59% with 4 cards that can actually get you refund. Yeah, Iskander had no, not Iskander. Um, a different 5 star recently had 3 hit arts cards at 0.59. Already forgetting. All of this is just starting to blend. Um, yeah, decent, but nothing like that stands out. First skill, 30% attack for herself and 20% AoE quick for the party. Nice. This is best of both worlds. Uh, like car buffs tend to be very oversaturated in most instances. So like giving herself more attack, but also still giving a quick a card buff means that even if you don't have the ideal support your Scotties, she's still at least gonna get the benefit of having better card performance. Second skill, cooldown reduction and up star gen. You do 1,000 damage to them, but you increase their max HP at the end of the turn. So you heal them a little bit, and then once the max HP goes away, they're back to full. Third skill is the meme reloading, and now it gets even better because like if you have 2 turns of cooldown reduction, hey, you can reload in the same fucking turn. If you are actually able to pop this 3 turns in a row, wow. But yeah, this has always been a meme. Like this is very impractical. Like you have to plan around you reloading, or you just don't interact with this, or you don't try to like do some meme shit. You just use it like on the turn, like because again, this is one attack 3 turns. Um, conditional mana burst, but it like if you are able to do it multiple turn re- if you are able to reload multiple times, you have like mana bursts across different turns. There you go, I said it right. So magic resist 17.5%, quick up 8%, independent action for 12% crit damage. There is no battery. Um, I feel if they want to give her a battery, it's probably going to be on reloading, and it's probably going to be like something really small, like 10. Uh, yeah. So I definitely think out of all our pens, it's definitely going to be like skill reloading that you want to focus on. Uh, yeah, because you can literally like with the new append plus this skill, you can literally reload back to back turns. And then if you have like another source of cooldown reduction, you can do it again. Yeah, so append 5 and this skill, you get it back turn 2. If you're using Atlas, you do it again and you don't pop any quick, and then you can pop this again. So you'd actually have the 3 instances of reloading. Extra attack again if you're using her as a main DPS and she's actually like attacking with all the cards. Yeah, it helps. NP 6 hit single target, damages to one enemy, charges her own gauge by 10 to help her get back up to the quick number of 50. So like if she was arts, this would be 20. Um Wait, doesn't Squirtoria have that like back end refund? Because I'm pretty sure it's because Squirtoria has like a battery at the end. Yes, because Squirtoria has a battery at the end. That's why Maid Alter has this smaller battery, but more appropriate for quick. Mm, I do think she is clunky. I'm not putting her in B because I'm not putting her in B because they're quick. I just want to say that straight out. Um, but she is very, very clunky. Um, and lacking in buffs. I feel one more, either an MP buff or a skill buff, to give her like a little more staying power would just kind of help, because again, the only consistent buff she has is 20 attack or 30 attack and the card buff. Uh that's not bad, but it is lacking when compared to other characters that are getting like buffed. Like most characters have more than just one skill buffing them, especially like with buffs as common as attacking quick up. Like they're two like very oversaturated buffs that just start losing value. If one of them was MP damage, it unironically would help her a little bit more. Um, but yeah. B only because lack of buffs. Like probably one more buff and you go up here. But most people are probably gonna choose Mabe over Maid Alter. All right. And with Made Alter, that is part one done. And now we're on to year two. And we start off with Ivan. Or not year two, part two. So, Ivan, this guy used to be king of buster farming. He still kind of is. Like, if his skin, like, if he hits niche, which most of the time he is, there are few exceptions where he's not going to be fighting that's chaotic or lawful. Like, very few exceptions. So, for the most part, even though on here, nope, wrong one. Even though on here, his numbers are 270,000. I do believe this isn't taking into account the power mods. If it is, that's my mistake. I will double check that when we do Takeda Shingen. Um, but yeah, attack good number, HP, it's okay. MP charge 0.62%. Quick arts, yeah, these are okay hit counts. We're not like looking at year one, so like I don't have to like breeze over them. But at the same time, like they feel good. They're not bad. So we're probably going to be talking less about hit counts unless something like really stands out. And unfortunately, it is his extra attack. That thing is definitely gonna hinder. Cause yeah, 4 hits. Yeah, there's a reason 5 is the magic number for most servants now. First skill, MP Gen up 50%, 30 battery, and 30 power mod to lawful or chaotic alignment, along with a full cleanse. That is a lot on a 30 battery. That is a lot. Second skill, 10 stars per turn, and a 40% buster buff for 3 turns. Awesome. Most for a long time, 3 turn, it was either you had a 1 turn 50% or you had a 3 turn buster. Most of the time we've moved over to 3 turn buster, and he's got the best of both worlds. He's got the 3 turn duration and a higher than normal card buff. Third skill, invul for himself, reduces all enemies attack for 3 turns and removes their buffs. Full buff strip for all enemies. Again, that's also why Martha is as low as she is. Yes, she puts the defense down, but it is only for one enemy. Well, Ivan, he removes all enemies buffs. Passive skill, passives, debuff resistance, and quick up. Going to need mana loading. Um, he gets some benefit from it, but not as much as you think. Uh, Unironically, like actually getting this might cause you to mess up with his farming, because already after you pop the double bitches, like this skill comes off cooldown. Yeah, so yes, he gets benefits from this, but like you should prioritize like the mana loading way before you worry about a pen 5. MP 5 hit AoE, Buster Res down after damage, increases MP damage for 1 turn, starts at 30, scales all the way up to 70. So Musashi scaling. Uh, yeah. Uh, it honestly helps that Ivan isn't supposed to be doing Black Rail. It honestly does help. Just because uh MP damage is in the same part of the formula as power mods. So yes, he would him running something like a golden sumo for like raw attack means he doesn't get as many diminishing returns as using cranking. He like Ivan in particular needs attack buffs more than he needs any other kind of buff. Um, yeah, so I'm fine leaving him at A plus. I don't think he is actually going to go to EX again. Um, the Buster Res down happens after damage, so that's never going to be a factor unless you're fighting a boss. Um, in like an AOE fight, not that common, but it's not outside the realm of possibility. That can be a CQ. Next up, Carrot Top. So I've always had issue with him as a looper. I truly don't think like he struggles a lot. I've noticed. I like again. I will double check this in Laplace. Um, like and notice how I'm mostly only doing this for quick servants than arts because in general AOE arts riders are like known to be some of the most consistent loopers because again they're mostly fighting casters. They're supposed like they get the best refund out of any other class that's looping. Um, the yeah, Achilles, good base attack, HP, eh. MP charge 0.57%, 4 hits on quick, 3 hits on arts, 2 on buster, 4 hit extra attack. Unfortunate on the extra attack. First skill, 30% quick, 30% crit damage. Not not terrible, but not great either. Um, this is a different variant of what Toki has, and honestly, if we swap these around, if we swap the crit damage here and made it MP gain and put the crit damage here, I'd have a lot better things to say about Achilles. But from my experience, he has always felt clunky, and don't ever expect to loop 333 with him. It's like he'll loop the first two and then he's going to crit the last wave, which I- that is quick strength. Um it's just that people don't like to play to that strength a lot. Again, I'm not going to knock him points off cuz his crits are disgusting. Does have some disgusting crits. But like him as a looper, can't loop him rate him that hard cuz there are always problems. There are always fucking problems with Achilles. Second skill, 2 hits of invul that lasts for 5 turns, and defense 20%. Uh, this is something else I've said countless times. Like he is trying to hybridize being a looper and a tank, and he needs to commit to either like, and he doesn't even commit to either one of them. He's like half-assing both, and honestly, they could just buff him and make it so he's not half-assing both. Um, which again is change these two buffs and make them 3 turns and not 1 turn. The aggro and then also the MP gen. If they buff Achilles and they just make this 3 turns, he will just be a whole lot better. But right now, Andromeda does the tanking and she does it so much better. Like it's not even funny. If I was rating Achilles as a tank, he would definitely fall flat under Andromeda. And even then, Andromeda is still, if I remember right, she still loops better than him too. Yeah, like again, I'm not taking this as gospel anymore. I have seen multiple times that this is not fairly accurate for what characters actually can do. Um, but off rip, Andromeda is able to do black rail looping, and if you're able to do it without a buff, when you do get buffed, you will be able to loot better. Oh, sorry, that was Suzuka too. But these quick loopers, a lot of them, it's tight looping. Um, yeah, debuff resistance. Yeah, yeah, I already talked about it. Debuff resistance 15%, riding A plus 11% quick. Needs mana loading. Skill reloading. You're not doing cooldown too often, so it's not gonna matter. For his farming and CQs, different story, very different story. Like if he's allowed to be critting, a lot of the issues I have with him completely go away. Um, it's just that he's AOE, so more people are gonna try to use him in farming. Like pre MP buff, I wouldn't rank him that high. Post MP buff, yeah, AoE quick, 5 hit, inflicts confusion, 30% chance to skill seal, and he ramps up crit damage, scaling off OC. And he can get, like, if you're MPing every turn, that is a lot of crit damage. 150% minimum is not nothing. So yeah, give me, yeah, I'm gonna do calcs for him now. Pretty much the same thing I did with Marie. Uh, just check whether like he needs Neurobride to even do looping, or he can do Oberon. Right. Oh my god. Okay, this really upsets me. His MP damage is really, really fucking good. Like this is a character that is literally screwed over because they do not buff his third skill. Um, I had to adjust this. Like I had to adjust this because this is also showing he's doing less damage than it actually is. Turn 3 and double ruler Scotty Oberon, he is doing 340,000 neutral. Around that number. Like here I am like giving Andromeda the glaze, like, and Achilles kind of just smacks it. But huge, huge butt on this. His refund is so goddamn tight. The second they buff his third skill to make it last 3 turns is when Achilles, like, I will move Achilles off this list. Or move him where I think he really should belong. But right now, it's if he's not fighting casters, he's screwed. He's not looping if he's not only fighting casters. So he's right now he's in B, like strictly because um this is a refund problem that could easily be solved, but they're choosing not to solve it. And the reason I'm saying it's easily solved is because, again, if he's looping here, uh 4 out of 5, it means that um even if he looped a less amount, he probably would get the number he needs to loop by Oberon popping his first skill. And then Achilles loops easier for 50, and he doesn't need the full 70 of Oberon. He just needs the split battery. Damn. Oh my god, I just realized I did this with yeah, I did the whole math thing while music was still playing in my headphones. That's, that's on me, but come on, buff Carrot Top already. It's been 2 years. Give him another buff. He needs it. Next up, Reigns. And This is more because there are no, I can't say that. There is another support on here, but he is very specific in how you use him that he's not a general support. Reigns goes in EX because she's literally the only rider that can give 50 battery. Um, he's the only one here that you can kind of use as a replacement for Castoria. And if you do pop her MP, it gets to like definitely Castoria levels while also like affecting quick just as much as arts. Okay. Reigns slash Sima Yi. Base attack. You don't really care about it, even though it is good. She's at 5-star levels. Her HP. It's not that high. I would take more HP than attack here if I was making this character. Star weights. Stop bringing that up. They're all riders. They're all around 209. 200 here, 9 here. MP charge 0.64% with I mean, this is significantly higher than like DPS's. Most of them that have 4-hit arts cards, their gains are like 0.47. She is a good 33% higher. Yeah, about. Yeah, like when she crits on her cards after popping her MP, it just goes yum. It starts spamming that shit. Yeah, especially in arts stall teams where like everyone's just art spamming. Like she gets her MP like really, really quickly. First skill, 25% defense for the party, 400 damage cut to go with it. Um, so the way it works is the defense cuts the number first, and then damage cut comes after. That's how like if the enemy is like not doing a lot of damage, like with this combo, you just might see zeros. Um, but that is very specific in that they have to be like not doing a lot of damage. Like they have like attack downs, or they're just low leveled in general. Yeah, 10% battery to the party. Second skill, targetable, 20% battery along with a 40% attack buff. The highest attack targetable attack buff in the game, if I'm not mistaken, off a skill. Uh, it does reduce her own attack by 20%, which is probably why her base attack is as high as it is. It's to offset this and make it so when she isn't cleansed, she's not hitting worse than Artoria Lily or some of those other 4 stars with dog shit base attack. And finally, invul targeted, 2 attacks, 3 turns, 20 battery, and increases debuff resistance for 3 turns. Very small debuff resistance, but it's gonna like make annoying debuffs slide off so they don't become an issue later. Debuff resistance 17.5%. Quick up 8%. Arts up 8% from territory creation. Neurocat. Right, but she's not really that much of a support. Yeah, so thank you, Chupa. This isn't the highest targeted attack buff, but it is the highest one you're gonna be using in farming. Uh Depends. Really, this for stall and then this for mana loading. This if like Brains is by herself and you just really need to get cards or get back to an MP, this will help out a bunch. Uh, yep. All right, cracked MP time. So 150% chance to reduce defense. This fights off magic resist so that even Quetzalcoatl would need uh other debuff resistance active to like not get this defense down. Uh get a trait, ignore class advantage, class disadvantage, so you do not take additional damage. This works amazingly for berserkers. It turns them from being taking extra damage from everyone to taking neutral damage from pretty much everyone. Ops Party's MP gen rate of 30%, and also 30% defense, and full cleanse, along with the overcharge. And crit chance down, and this is also at 150%. So you have to have higher debuff resistance or more than just God Assistance plus magic resist. Like it's part of the reason why Reigns feels so good to use. It's because like you don't have to worry that much about shit not landing. Things will land. So yeah, I don't think I need to talk more about why for a writer she's EX because ain't no one that's doing what she can do. Next, Da Vinci, and she just got her buff. It's not super amazing. It doesn't make her like that much better at what she was already doing, but it does make her teammates actually get a whole lot better. Base attack 10.8k. Again, good number, not amazing, but could be way worse. But again, this is definitely on the lower end. Um, but fortunately, it's not at like 9.5k like some other like rulers uh get stuck with, but they also have a massive attack buff, so there's more reason to it. HP good, but in most of her teams, she's not even going to be taking damage. MB charge 0.49%. This is a fucking lie, or if you don't think it's a lie, um, yeah, no, like you say this, but she loops like a. You see this? She loops like a quick servant, but she functions as an art servant. Like she is not someone that's looping for 100%. She is looping for like 50, like 50 to 60% is like her ideal place, and she just needs to do enough damage to get there. Uh, yep, forehead arts cards at lower gains, but again, she's a rider, and now she is going to be critting, so not an issue. First skill, her buff, debuff immunity for 3 turns, heal 1,000 per turn, 20 battery per turn, and 10 stars gifted to every servant on the field for 3 turns. So just like Kimiko, except at an even higher level. So before you do any kind of carding, you get 30 stars per turn. If you're somehow able to gen more than like 2 stars from Da Vinci's MP, it makes the next turn's crits a lot easier, especially if you're doing a mighty chains. But more likely than not, you are going to be doing arch chains. Took this off my mic stand because I'm feeling it, chat. It I'm sober. I've been sober for too long, and I need to get through this. And it's too late. Can't stop now. Second skill, before it was pretty bad because she could never use this, and you're in a Castoria team. Like, yes, this dodge without a cooldown, very nice, but most of the time you're not even going to get hit or take damage to even use it. Third skill, AoE MP damage for the party, like healthy 30%, very nice. Everyone gets a 10% battery, and everyone's gets overcharge for this turn by 1 stage. Riding B, 8% quick up. Territory creation C, arts up 6%. And overhaul, 20% debuff resistance and 20% star gen. So even when this goes away, she still has some kind of magic. Good to see. Mana loading, just to make things easier for arts setups. Less battery needed to put on Da Vinci. And nothing else really matters. If you're plan on using it with Tomomo, obviously like you're gonna want this. But general use, this is all you really need. Because she's also not doing extra attacks. And until this buff, she was not critting. Don't fucking bring a cavalry to fight an alter ego. You're gonna have a very bad time. NP hasn't been buffed, but it still does its job perfectly well. AoE we 3 hit, and she gets the entire party gets 20 battery, along with her getting an arts buff 20% for this turn. Her floor for looping is 40%. She just needs to hit 60. Any other extra charge, and she has to do even less work. I need to just double check this real quick. Because unfortunately, I can't put Da Vinci at EX. Um, and it actually is because of Habitrot, even though Habitrot isn't going to be ranked on this list. Um, Technically speaking, uh, Habitrot would be on this list because she's not technically a welfare, but at the same time, you get her from the friend point, and this is talking about Gacha servants. Um, Habitrot just like hits too hard in comparison to an MP1 Da Vinci. Um, and then she also has like more team utility and being able to like rotate out. Um, I can put Da Vinci in like A, but even A plus is just stretching it. And yeah, like this is definitely one of the cases where one of this is actually affecting a different list. And it's the only exception because I'm comparing Habitrot to Da Vinci. They both happen to be AoE writers. One just happens to be a welfare. Um, yeah, there aren't that many clear cut cases, but because both Da Vinci and Mordred, both of them have like such low hitting MP damage, like Habitrot just kind of shines just a little bit better. If we're not talking about MP1 for either Da Vinci or Mordred, although it definitely is mostly Da Vinci, because Mordred even at MP5 barely beats out Da Vinci. Yeah, I do think for like more team utility, like she is brought down by her low damage, because even like for CQs, like she barely had crit potential now. Like she's not like this star buff is not enough to give her actual crit potential. For stall comps, she goes up higher, but most people aren't playing stall these days anymore. Most people just because like the longer you're in a fight, the easier it is to die and have to start all over. So it's like better to go out in a blaze of glory, go out in a blaze of glory, than live a life of mediocrity. All right. I believe we are at the halfway mark, or a little bit more than the halfway mark. Trying to think whether I need a full break or something. 'Cause, oh my god, how long have I been at this? Yeah, this is like 2 hours in. Is what it is. All right, let's keep going. I don't need the break. Carmilla, where are you? That is my initial impression. I can't even think of her as a looper. If you think of Carmilla as a looper, sorry, not sorry, you don't play this game. Holy shit, is her refund atrocious. There is almost nothing saving this character. Like her base gain needed to be a lot higher. Like we look at Van Gogh, like the new Van Gogh Minor. That one has a card buff, higher base MP gain, and an actual MP gain buff. And they still are struggling to loop 30. What the fuck is Carmilla supposed to do when she doesn't even have a offensive buff, right? Doesn't she only debuffs? She's only debuffs. What the fuck is she supposed to do for looping? Um, she has other utility, yes, but like it's not something that she alone can do, except for like uh one part of the skill. And even then, it's like you give defense down just for crits, like Cosra Drop does. But unlike Cosra Drop, defense down is something that you hit a cap for. Card buffs, not that easy to do. All right. Base attack, at least, is at a good number. HP looks really low. Yeah, level 100 is hitting HP. Like, she has Berserker level HP. That, yeah. Again, ranted about this already. I really like to make tier lists. I do too, but this is just exhausting when it's like what like if I'm doing it by myself and like it's this much all at once. Like I can't. I really don't want to like split this up, especially because if I stop, I'm gonna smoke, and I don't want. I want to get all these done in like one day. I don't want to split this up. Um, yeah, yeah. After this, I will reconsider that though. I will reconsider like either taking a break and doing this later tonight or just do it tomorrow after work, which is a very real possibility. Yeah, like not gonna lie, I'm feeling like really tired. And usually I just try to get these all done all at once, but like this one is eating at me. Um yeah. Sorry, plushie, but your former divorcee. I don't even know if I have to apologize. I don't think he gives a fuck anymore. He's stuck in his contract to coin Skya with his balls literally in a mousetrap. Yeah, so chance to skill one enemy skills for one turn, reduces their defense against crit damage for 3 turns, and gains crit stars. Thank you, Cosru Drop, for coming out that people like it is easier to understand how this skill works. Um, so basically, this is only defense down if you crit. So it doesn't apply to the MP. Unfortunate. But I mean, it's 50 from one skill. That kind of does make sense. Second skill, calling card. Band of Thieves calling card. Delayed buff. Uh you reduce their gauge after by 1 after a turn, and you get a battery. And then you reduce their crit chance by 30%. Slight stalling, but this battery is awkward as shit and it's delayed. It makes it so she couldn't do farming even if she wanted to. Um yeah, if they buff this skill, they're gonna make it not a delay and a flat 30, but they will keep the delayed drain on here. They'll just make this battery like flat. Oh wait, no, it's a party battery. Never mind. No, changing this isn't gonna be that good. Isn't gonna make that much sense. Third skill, 2k absorb and 30% defense down. She does put a good amount of defense down on the table, but it's not great for esports because like if they like I would be more okay with putting her in extremely niche for esports reasons if skill 2 was skill 3 and like you can run her 40 out of 50 and have these two like decent sources of defense down because like critting isn't the hardest thing to do, and having an easy access to like 80% defense down for crits would be nice, but she is not going like she's not going to like die in combat unless like she has a taunt, and it is a good thing that she doesn't have anything. Um, or hang on, let's actually go to the MP before I say something. Crit damage up 10%. President's concealment 8% star gen. Like yeah, like I can't say anything that really stands out for something you'd want for her to get mana loading just because, but like she's not a main DPS. She's a sub DPS debuffer. And one that is, because of her nature, is going to be very hard to put down, especially if you are actually using her against a caster. Carmilla is not fucking dying if she's fighting a caster. So even using her as an esport is just going to be too annoying. Again, unless you're fighting someone that wipes AoE, and in which case it's different. Um, Damage to all enemies, buff block, 1 time 3 turns, quick res down. Yeah, I'll put her in niche. She's a very like heavy debuffer, and she needs to work. I feel she should be in D because like how much like what she does is good. It's just like she doesn't, if she isn't able to do it effectively. Like she wants to do a lot of stuff. She can do a lot of stuff. It's just that most of the time it doesn't work out as like well as it should. One thing to know about the buff block though is on casters, they try to cleanse it. So buff block as a mechanic is like you're forcing the enemy to waste an action. Um, so yeah, she escapes D, but not by that much. I don't even want to put too much value on her MP in here. Uh, Again, because she wants to be esports, but she can't be esports. One good thing about this though, that I'm pretty sure that even if Carmilla dies, the party will get this. But I think this happens like right after the opponent's turn ends. So this would be a timing thing. Like you need to know how, like when this actually goes off. Otherwise, you might just waste it. Okay. So I'm gonna have to like put a pause in this. I'm just not, yeah, like like I'm gonna have to come back to this later. All right, I had to take a break from this due to just like mentality. So let us finish this up. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 characters left. Wasn't able to get this done on Sunday just because I got no sleep, and then yesterday kind of screwed up and like smoked right after I got back to my apartment. That's on me. All right, so let us start with Europa. Europa got a buff fairly recently, and it gave her like it actually gave her damage. Power mod against Earth attribute for the entire party, and then also power mod for against charmed enemies. So sub DPS for units like Kama, who is constantly charming, and like also Summer Kama. Although I don't like how like low this chance is. So let's go over again. Base attack a lot higher, honestly, than you'd think for her specifically. Like she kind of like she had like pretty much potato damage for a long, long time. Like we can even see it here. Yeah, Europa. Like it, like whatever you want to say, you cannot deny that this is potato damage. Like he's out damaged by an MP. Uh, yeah, if we're doing apples to apples, he's out damaged by an MP1 Mordred. I'm pretty sure that's the most telling part of why she needed this buff. Like as a 5 star, out of all the 4 stars to get beaten out by in damage, it had to be Mordred. Right. So shows base attack isn't everything. What buffs you have and how they like work in the double busters, double coincides system. Yeah, in English. Um, yeah, HP again a lot lower than I thought than you think, especially if you know what her MP is. But she's still very very tanky. MP charge 0.58% with 3 hit arts cards. Uh, no, the gains aren't the gains on these aren't that good, but she does have a card buff to help. 5 hit extra attack. eh, Don't expect too much of this. Again, like riders, the star gen part of their extra attack not the best, and 0.58%. I really don't expect much from this extra attack. It's gonna be okay, but it's not. It's not gonna be anything good. All right, first skill, Instance of Purity. I think we saw this with Marie Antoinette. I don't know if they have the same skill. No. Mm-mm. But they have something similar. 3 attacks, no duration, so PFA, except it's not a dodge, it is invul. And then debuff resistance for 3 times at 100%. Debuff immunity is 100% better. I don't think anyone is going to question it. Like if you have times debuff resistance, if you just had debuff immunity, it would be straight up better. So if they buff the skill, this is probably what they'll look at first. Although MP buff probably more likely. It's probably more likely. Let's be honest. Because her buff it helped her crit. Yeah, it helped her a bit in farming. It helped her a bit in damage, but not stuff that's consistent. So yeah, the skill needs to go up a little bit. Arts up 30%, Buster up 30%, 30% battery. Good that if you're looking to do is farm with her, like this is the only skill you actually need to level. Everything else, well, before before this was the only skill you needed to level. Now with her most recent buff, you do need the skill maxed out. Uh yeah, so decent skill. These are things like any farmer would want, especially these two. Again, Buster Farmer. She needs the 30 battery. She needs the Buster buff. And for the sake of your materials, you don't need 3 lures, like how quick servants are, because like usually all 3 of their skills need to be leveled. While Buster, the only thing that really matters is damage skills or battery. Third skill, was this on a 7? Yeah. So first thing, they reduced the cooldown. They made it so you don't need a pen 5 to be able to like double stack this. You're just able to do it. However, you do have a pen 5, you're able to do this on turn 2. Not advised at all because this is also pretty heavily tied to her damage. So before it was an AoE charm, 60%, not great chance of landing. Defense down 20%, and crit chance 20%. So again, cooldown reduction. They did not change either of the original effects, but they added power mods for anti earth and anti charm for the entire party. So again, if you're looking to use her in farming, yes, this is a significant upgrade in damage. Having a 60% power mod, essentially, it's it's not it's around the level in the formula for as Black Rail, but again, it's power mods. They don't work with Oberon's MP damage up, and also that kind of only is on turn three. So you're comparing turn three with double pop to Black Rail that isn't boosted by Oberon. So again, not a fair comparison whatsoever. Uh, but yeah, these being AOE honestly works out for the best for her. I don't think anyone ever saw Europa as a like single target DPS. Uh, I don't know why you'd think that. But there wasn't really a place for her either because why would you choose to bring someone with only a 60% chance to charm when you could just bring another actual support? Um, but now this is actually fairly good charm support. Like for Kama, this is literally a free power mod. It is like absolutely free for her entire gameplay. So really good skill buff. Badger of the Sea, Riding A plus, Divinity. These two most important. You really don't have to worry about anything else. And MP 4 hit AOE, but we don't care for Buster. Increases her own defense for 50% for one turn. And then also increases her Buster performance for one turn. So Buster in Buster farming setups, like the Buster buffs, they lose value because Coin Sky is already giving Buster. So there are no real buffs that you can really like multiply with Europa. It's like the only multiplicative thing is the power mods. So again, only if the enemy is charmed or earth, and then also uh like the chance to charm is just not good. If she is the main DPS, like she goes down in value, like she's easily no, like even with this buff, um, she is too particular. Like being charm support, unironically, actually can put her here, especially for someone like Summer Kama that only has the one charm. And I believe Summer Kama's is AoE as well. So no, her chance to charm is 100%. Um, but even still, it's still an AoE charm. Uh, and I would just really, really like it if Europa they buffed her first skill, or they buff her MP and then give her like debuff success rate. Um, if they do it for the first skill, then they can also make that debuff immunity like and stack it on top. Just don't make it an offensive skill. Just like make it pure. Make Europa work better. But right now, keep her at B. And now that I actually had time to think about it for Achilles, I have seen his crits, I have seen his damage, and it's not fair that I actually did like put him here. Like I'm gonna move him up to A. Um, but this is condition like he's not up there for looping yet. If he gets like an MP, like not an MP buff, a skill buff for his third skill, and they make both those effects 3 turns, easily A plus or into EX. Because if you've seen his looping numbers when he's actually able to loop, the real the damage is really there. It's just his looping is so inconsistent as shit. If you bring him to a boss fight, you will have much better success with the crit damage ramp up. And I don't think like on Sunday I really highlighted that enough. So I thought about it, moved him. I don't think like, but he cannot go into A plus. He can't. Not I have just too many issues with this third skill. And again, that's why like I even put him here and B in the first place. I just it's too much. Like he needs to be fighting casters and everything. But I mean like if you're like that just is the difference of you using a different support at that point. Not really on him. But again, he needs his third skill buffed. This is ridiculous at this point. All right. Odysseus. Uh yeah, this is he's definitely lower than, or no, not lower, on the same tier. Yeah, no, like putting Odysseus and Europa on the same tier as Achilles. No. No, no, no. Like I think he's significantly better than both these two. It again, it's such a small pet peeve, but it affects him so much. But onto Odysseus. Base attack around the same as Europa. HP. Yeah, wait, isn't he just like Arts Europa? No, 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 no. He doesn't have defense. Okay, never mind. Yeah, base attack, good for a 5-star. HP. Um, it's a little too low, but he also has taunting shit, so it's again a little different. MP charge 0.58, literally same as Europa. However, his hit counts are significantly better. Like this gain works. Yeah, look at this. 4 hit arts cards with a point 0.5 MP gain. This takes a dump on a lot of characters, especially because he's gonna like be fighting casters. Like these crits will get him back like really good, a good chunk of his MP. And then 4 hit quick cards also with this gain. They're not obviously they're not going to be as good, but they made his deck a lot better for gains. And my statement on Europa and her extra attack kind of stands. Like they have like almost identical numbers, so like their extra attacks should like function the same. Uh, or if there is a difference, it's going to be very slight. All right, first skill, AOE. For quick and arts up, not great. Usually, characters that have an AOE buff like this low usually have another card buff for themselves. Uh, and then a special taunt. So you put taunt on the allies except the one you choose. So if you have Shufu, Castoria, Odysseus, and you pop this on Castoria, Shufu and Odysseus are gonna have the taunts. So if you plug suit out Shufu, Odysseus is the only one getting taunted. Not only that, this is like uh George George's taunt. Like that level of taunting, so 300%. Like so he's pretty like at that point he's guaranteed to like be getting hit unless you have someone else that's taunting, which yeah, just don't do that. Second skill, 30% battery, star weight, and charm immunity for 5 turns. As long as this skill is maxed out at level 10, he can never be charmed. Like this is probably what like very clear lore skill. Um and I think it was kind of cool that it was full time. Obviously, at the time, we didn't have like someone people that were focusing on charm, and it's not like you would bring Odysseus to fight Kama. Uh, except maybe Beast 3. There's an actual argument that you would bring him to fight Beast 3. Uh, oh. Mm, okay, wait. Where does it say which servants had class advantage? Hmm. All right. Sorry, it's not showing up. But yeah. So full charm immunity. Really funny because we were just talking about Europa who got the charm buff. So is what it is. Third skill, full turn of invul. You buff resistance for 1 turn. Oh no, sorry. buff removal resistance for 1 turn, 100%, and then defense up for 3 turns. Very, very tanky skill. Uh, and it's funny because like if he's fighting himself, he can't take his own buffs. So funny. Very solid for defense, and it's on a 5 turn cooldown. Any kind of cooldown reduction will have this either on 1 turn of downtime for the defense or 0 downtime. And honestly, like 30% defense is a lot. Uh, you really start barely taking damage at that point. Passives: magic resist 17.5%, riding B plus, 9% quick, and special passive, immune to Pigify, specifically the Great Witches. Um, but he already. Oh, right. Okay, so this was before they like just made people have the trait that they're immune to Pigify. It did kind of devalue this, but at least it's another arts buff, so is what it is. Uh, Again, I talked about the cooldown reduction. It gives him better uptime, especially on these two. Like no, like this one doesn't matter if you have better uptime. It's already 100%. But this one it will just feel better. And mana loading just for cleaner loops or set up for loops. MP AoE 3 hit, damage to all enemies, and increases MP damage for 1 turn. Uh, from what I've used of Odysseus, he does have like fairly consistent refund. Um, when I used him for QP farming, he didn't really have a problem. He kind of just looped 100%. And it was either with Paris, I think it was Paracelsus or Asclepius, instead of another Castoria. Um, but I could be mistaken, and I was plug suiting. Uh, I think it was Asclepius da Vinci. Yeah, Asclepius da Vinci writer. So that is 60% gain, and 40% arts up. So I yeah, that is like more than what double Castoria would give, but double Castoria also has a lot more batteries going around. Um yeah, like higher value batteries. So he's solid at B, but he needs buffs. He definitely needs buffs. In terms of MP damage, yeah, I he's not hitting hard enough for me to like can like yeah, like he's not hitting so much harder than Da Vinci that I would like put him on the same level. Like if he was doing 300,000 damage, I would have no problems putting him in the same category as Da Vinci just because like she's better for team utility and he's like better for like actually like killing shit. But they're just too close. Like if you're gonna do an art stall comp, like Da Vinci's just gonna be better. Next, Murasaki Rider, one of the closest contenders for Ozzy's spot. Uh, and I do believe, uh, okay, yes. In regards to these riders, I, oh, excuse me, I definitely feel Murasaki is going to be the closest person, uh, to even touching Ozymandias. Her kit just functions just so cohesively that it's just really nice. And like the big three for these are Ryder, Liz, Murasaki, and Ozzy in terms of single target riders. Um, Kentoki just doesn't have enough buffs to like put him like in that conversation anymore because all he is loop, single target loop, and he still needs face cards for that too. All right. Base attack on the lower end, but trust me, she has so many things multiplying into each other, especially with her MP buff, that this number, don't worry about it. She's also fighting casters, so again, don't worry about it. HP, uh, again on the lower side for yeah, I feel that this is a little low, but arts. Are we really worried about survivability for an arts team? MP charge 0.53%. Uh, and with 4 hit arts card. So very similar deck to Odysseus, weaker extra attack, but the gains should be somewhat similar at base. And just like a worse extra attack too. So unfortunate, but is what it is on that part. She does not need to be like doing a full braid chain to get her MP back. First skill seal, or no, MP seal for 1 turn, 30% defense down for 3 turns. Second skill, reduce debuff resistance for 1 turn. Skill seals them, arts res down. So you're always gonna pop this skill first and then pop everything else. If you mess up the order, your debuffs might not land. You can see right here, this is a 500% chance to force the debuff resistance, yeah, debuff resistance down. Meaning, as long as you pop this skill first and the enemy is not debuff immune, they are getting debuffed by 100%. That is fighting off every single form of magic resist, goddess essence combo, whatever. Um, this is even gonna fight off characters that have 100% debuff resistance. So, um, yeah, like Europa. Yeah, a character like Europa that actually has 100% debuff resistance in their kit. Say goodbye to that buff because it's not gonna function. It only works for 1 turn, but uh, it's that 1 turn is important because it also means the defense is gonna land, which will carry over after this turn. Third skill, 20% gauge every turn for 3 turns and 20 stars. This is on 5 turn, 5 turn, 6 turn. So in Tamamo comps, you have like so much uptime on Murasaki's skills, and that is what really matters for her. Like really good uptime on her abilities, and then you pretty much just suppress fire. Your enemy is not going to be able to do much. Um, with the skill seal and the MP seal, you can pretty much control exactly when the enemy is going to MP. Even more so if you're using Tomo and you're like those two are just like literally working off each other. Uh, there's a good chance the enemy is just like not even going to be able to MP for a good amount of time. Uh, yep. So only has a 9% quick up. And moving on. Uh, okay. So obviously this is bad. You're not gonna bring a rider to fight alter egos. Throw it out the garbage. This is the last possible thing you're ever gonna unlock for Murasaki. Even 120 is gonna come before this. Crit damage. It is nice because she doesn't have crit damage in her kit, but not really needed. I think skill reloading for her, specifically with Tomo, is just like too valuable. Like, because the shorter her cooldowns are the first time, the easier it is to get them back with Tomo. Like, you might have them for turn 3. So one like pop at turn 1 and then pop turn 3 if you're really good about reducing cooldowns. Uh, and obviously mana loading just will feel better. For extra attack, it's only if you're going to use her in boss fights. Um, like I said, like her refund off face cards, especially like with the arts res up and all the other arts buffs you're gonna give her. She typically doesn't have a problem like MP spamming. All right, MP, single target, 3 hits, super effective against Earth attribute, 60% chance to drain, and arch res down, and this ramps up, but this is after damage. Uh, Again, literally talking about the combo with Tamamo along with all the MP seals. There's a good, very, very strong chance the enemy is just not gonna MP like throughout the entire fight. So caster bosses get royally screwed over by Murasaki. Like especially ones that are like wasting their turns spamming debuffs because like Castoria's MP can just cleanse that, and that is something Ozzy has a weakness in. Like cleanse is not something that's in his kit or in like typical Buster supports. I think Nightingale like gives debuff resistance, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, like Murasaki, like because Arts is so strong, she is so strong. I'm not going to put her in EX just because uh for her specifically, she does need a little more help on the supports end in comparison to Ozzy. Ozzy, like if you don't have double Vitch, it's not the end of the world. While for Murasaki, if you don't have Tamamo, it is your performance with her is going to be different. She is not gonna have like the kind of uptime you want on a lot of this stuff. But like the art, like she's gonna keep spamming her MP. But like the things you like really care about, like the skill, like the debuffs, you're not gonna have them that often. So she sits comfortably in A plus. Um, I mean, sure, another buff will help, but nothing right now kind of stands out. Like, could she use like a flat battery? Sure, but she gets charged return in an arts comp. It's really fine. Like her supports can get her where she needs. All right, Nemo, another single target rider. Uh, I have him on two different accounts, one at MP3 and then the other at MP1. And I can tell you, I rarely ever use Nemo. He is extremely, extremely niche for where you can bring him. Um, like he's still functional as a regular single target arts, but like because he's so heavily niched, uh, you're also not gonna see those line up often. Uh, Tack little low on for a 5 star, but not egregious at all. It's pretty much right there at the midpoint. HP, it's okay. It's not in 14K, but it's still decent for a 5 star or normal for a 5 star. I don't want to say it's decent because it's still on the lower end, but it's okay. It's what five stars like normally are around. First skill, Voyager of the Storm, MP damage, party attack, and if you are on water side or void space battlefield, you get another 20%. Void space battlefield is, I believe, from Imaginary Scramble, and that's it. I could very much be mistaken on that. There might be other niche cases, but from my understanding, the only time we had void space battlefield was in Imaginary Scramble. Waterside is significantly easier to enable. Like there are multiple servants that can make a waterside battlefield. Uh, Melt is an example, and if you're doing archers and caster multi-core node, look at that. You can get Nemo to close to as hard as like consistent as you can. If you don't have water side, like Nemo falls off a cliff, very much falls off a cliff. Yeah, so even for like ahead of it, like I'm already gonna put him in niche because like Nemo on water side is very different from Nemo not on water side. Second skill, Guts, 3k HP, one time 5 turns on a 7 turn cooldown. If this gets buffed and this goes down to a 6 turn, awesome. It would be better, but I'm not holding my breath on this because of like the second part of the skill. So it is a 30% battery normally, but if the Guts procs, you get a 50 battery. Again, the issue is he's in an arts team. Arts is notorious for not dying. So if a big part, like 50 batter is huge for a skill, and it's for it being as conditional as it is, for as hard as it is to kill arts, I think like this not being on like a lower downtime is a little bit of an issue. I'm not saying it needs to be 100% up, but I am saying like the extra 2 turns that you don't have it, it's really going to suck because um by that time your arts comp kind of might have started breaking down. Like someone got buff stripped and then new um like by turn 6 something might have gone wrong or you got all your cooldowns back. This again, this is a conditional thing and it really depends on who you're using with Nemo. Uh but yeah, this part is you're happy when it happens, but you can't bake on this, especially not in arts team. Multi again, in you can't do this in multicore unless you're using Changdong, which I mean, hey, it's a possibility. You could. It just depends on who you're fighting. Okay, party arts buff 20%, and again, if you're on water side or void space, an extra 20%, and 15 stars on a 5 turn cooldown. Yeah, so if you're not on water side, you lose out on 20% attack and 20% arts buff. Um, again, falls off a cliff, and we haven't even gotten to the MP. 11% quick up, divinity, crit damage on arts cards up 10%, and damage taken when on water side. So that is number 3. That is the third part of his kit that he needs water side. Mana loading because he has a base 30 battery. Skill cooldown, sure, to have this out on better uptime for the first one, the first pop. Crit damage, yes, but no. Yeah, closer to yes because he does have something for crit damage, specifically arts card. And he does drop stars, but not a whole lot. Extra attack, it's a 4 hit one, and again the same combo of MP gain and star gen as as Murasaki, Odysseus, and Europa. They all had around the same MP gain, around the same hit counts on the cards. I think but Europa's with like 3 hits or something. Uh Sorry, not trying to get worked up or anything. More things that require water side. MP damage and evasion. That is 5 different effects in his kit that require water side. I can't stress enough how disjointing that is. So because of that, I have to put him in here. Half of his kit doesn't work unless he's by water side. And like his highs are look really good. Let me bring up like how many different times like he is on here. He has 3 different things. And when everything lines up, he's hitting 101,000 damage. There is nothing else that comes close to this on this list. He's almost he's not doubling Aussie's damage, but he's doing a really good job of it. Like the damage here is like more than double too. Like so we can't even say it's just super large because it's not. Just super large is at 60%. It's like everything multiplying together puts him at here. So I completely feel it's a disservice for Nemo if I ranked him like anywhere other than niche because everything needs to align. If he's not fighting super large, he's still doing more consistent damage than Ozzy. So again, like or someone like Cats or anyone else on this list, he actually is competing with Mabe when she has her male buff. So yeah, Nemo, he's where he is because he has to be. And anything else is kind of a disservice. All right, next up, Canis Rider. Base attack, good number for a 5 star. This is 4 star, really good number. Like Anything about like above 9K, good. Above 9.5K, you're like the numbers look really good. It's not, again, it's not 5-star numbers. Like especially here at level 100, you see like this is John levels of attack, but John at level 100 is like normal 5-star level attack. Um, but again, attack is not everything. 0.66% MP gain. Uh, Decent gains on the arts cards, but not super amazing. And don't worry about the quick card. First skill, 20% attack and crit damage for male or unknown gender allies. Canis is gender unknown. Don't worry about it. I like, yeah, don't think too hard on this. This is yeah. Yeah. Mm, mm-mm. Second skill, 30% arts, 30% buster, and 15 stars on a 6-turn cooldown. Uh Skills like kind of basic. Like last couple servants that had this combo also had a battery tied to it, or at least have a battery. Canis does not have a battery. So this is like Canis's flaw. If they decide to buff a skill, it's gonna be this one, and they're just gonna slap a battery on it. Or yeah, no, it's gonna be this skill because it's like 15 stars is not a worthy enough effect to say you can't just slap a battery on this. Like, not when it's already at 6. Third skill, one time 3-turn dodge guts, 10 10 stars per turn. If you're on water side, 500% star weight, and an extra 10 stars per turn. So while this is waterside synergy, like Nemo, this is also like summer waterside synergy. So like it is a little different. Like Nemo, his whole kit doesn't really work unless he's on waterside, while most summer servants, it's kind of just like an extra thing. Like the skill by itself is not great on a 6-turn. Like I'm gonna be real, just a guts and 10 stars per turn. Um the guts, yeah, like a guts being on one, up for 3, down for 3. Uh, they definitely could have slapped on another normal effect and it would have been fine. But I do think this is like, if everything works, this skill is fine. Writing EX 12% quick, arts up 8%, and a little tickle, divinity tickle over here. They are a crit servant, um, and buster. You're gonna want this. Mana loading, it depends on who you're trying to use with Canis. If you're trying to, I mean, now we have Merlin, so a 20 starting with no battery actually does kind of work out pretty nicely now. Um, yeah, Merlin buff goes fucking nutty for like just setups and shit. Really wish I had him on JP, but my main account on NA is just getting better stonks. The stonks are real on that account. Uh, MP. Single target, right? Yep. Single target, 3-hit Buster, and again with Buster we kind of don't care. 20% MP damage for 3 turns, activates first. Attack up 20%, lasts for 1 time if you're on water side. So this is a secondary effect. Um but it's 20% attack and 10 stars per turn with star weight. I don't think this is like even comes close to how heavily Nemo is crippled compared to Canis. Um, and especially because Canis has ramp up crit damage for 3 turns. Um, I don't really care about this so much as this, because just ramp up crit damage is nice. So I have like always thought Canis was solid, and B, they are a solid unit. They are very functional, but these other units have like stuff in their kit. Like this is generic good shit, but generic good shit isn't enough anymore. I know a lot of people also didn't rate Canis that high to begin with. Um, like especially in comparison to like Ozzy. It's like Ozzy's always going to be the elephant in the room. But I don't think they're that bad, especially because Buster is so crit heavy. Canis just has better Buster synergy than Ozzy. It's just that Ozzy just does everything. Skip Cinderella because she's a welfare. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. I kind of want to. I kind of want to eat something, but I think I can push through this. Taikobo, Taigon Wong, the simp for Dodgy, Grand Caster, so he claims. Base attack 11.6k. This is above where we want for 5 stars at bare minimum. HP little on the lower side, but not too concerning. MP charge at 0.6%. Uh, K counts not as good as they could be, but he does have a lot of cards to get him gains. So yeah, it's honestly fine. Like I haven't had a problem using him. Um, in terms of gains, like he honestly did surprise me a couple times. First skill, 15% quick up, 15% attack, 15% MP damage. Now you look and see all these very small buffs, and you might think that these aren't that great. But let's just bring up the calculator real quick to just show like how much this actually like how much better this is than like a regular like mana burst, and especially how said this is card buff. Taikobo is not like is a multi-core uh unit for quick, which isn't common. We have a lot for arts, not so many on quick. So 1.15 because this is one is for your normal, and then the 15 here is the percentage. And like if you know math, if you have a percentage sign when you're actually doing calculations, you just move it to decimal places. So times 1.5 times 1.15. If you add all these together, it's only 45%. If you multiply all of them together, it's 1.52, more than a mana burst. And remember, Scotty, OG Scotty, gave a lot of quick card buffs. Before Ruler Scotty came out, quick didn't really have attack buffs unless you were unless the character had the quick ups attack buffs themselves. Taikobo, he gives like everything quick wants for damage. He doesn't give MP gain. If they buffed him and gave him MP gain before OG Scotty, I'm actually gonna be pissed. Like genuinely, like massive dub for Taikobo. They buff this skill, reduce the cooldown, and also give party wide MP gain. Oh my fucking god! Like he actually might be a better quick support than Scott. Like conditionally than Scotty. I have to say the conditionally part, just because like no, not even conditionally. If he's giving AOE MP gain like at a good amount along with all this other stuff, along with split battery, it like gives you way more wiggle room than like normal Scotty system would, because it's just a split battery on his third skill. Yeah, it's skipping ahead, but he has a 30 battery and then he does AoE for the party. So it's just like better for just like battery situations. Like quick, if they have a problem looping, it is going to be like they're looping 30. So this 20 battery is going to get them back up for 50 for another Scotty, and then his own battery. Back to the second skill, AoE skill seal, power mod against divinity, and power mod against demonic. So one synergy I really want to mention is with Bazette, because skill seal with Bazette equals she does not have to worry about the enemies not fucking hitting her. Bazette, if you've ever used her and the enemies just only pop buffs, because she can hit them if they try to debuff her. She can hit them, but if they're only buffing themselves, and especially if they're casters, again, they only have the 2 actions, and Bazette has a power mod against casters. If those casters are not hitting her, she is not do Bizet won't do it nearly as much. So Taikobo is actually like a super solid support for Bizet because it's also MP damage and attack up, and Bizet eats that shit up. Yeah. So power mod against divinity and demonic. If you've ever done any like both of these at 50%, it's not Scotty mods. But these are way more common than Scotty. Like not Scotty. Shisho. Shisho has the anti demon divinity and anti undead. Tiger bows show up way more in farming. And if you ever do any kind of farming in Lost Belt 4, almost every single not every single node, but a lot of the nodes you need to farm for like gold mats. A lot of the enemies are both divine and demonic, and a lot of them are also casters. So I used Taihubo to like solo core some of that shit, and it was like really consistent shit. Quick up on the append, or not append, on the passive. Gonna want mana loading just for like ease of use with batteries. You don't need it, but it's just a little more helpful if you do need it. Like, because in a lotto, you never know how much battery like is enough battery. Like, if they're doing a lotto, the answer is always mana loading, no matter what. Even if the lotto C is an MLB, even if it's not a battery, not having a certain amount of charge in a lotto fucking sucks and screws with your runs more than not having the MLB, if I'm being honest. Anti Foreigner on the append because dodgy, Koyan Dark. Oh, wait, no, sorry. Not because of dodgy. It is because of Koyan Dark. Koyan Dark is not dodgy. Koyan Skya is not dodgy. They hammered that shit very well home. MP AoE 6 hit quick. Super effective against Divinity. Yeah. Divine casters get royally fucked by this guy. And he also pops quick res down, which is a card buff for everyone in the team. Uh, for a character like this that is so heavily like multi-core, this is the benefit. Would it be nice if this happened before damage? Sure. But with multi-core, half the time you don't even care if this is like the setup for another MP. It doesn't matter if it happens first. It will be just like slightly more damage. Well, like it, the person that goes after doesn't. Tekabo, you are going to A plus. Not as a farmer, because his looping numbers are they're serviceable because he has his batteries the way they are. Um, yeah, but he doesn't have MP gain, and his own card buffs are lacking. So I will put this up like in a second though. Yeah, I will put up the Taikobo farming numbers in a second though with Black Rail. And just see like where the issue is. Kind of just not gonna trust this because when we saw it with Achilles there was issues. All right. All right. So I did some Pega shit and I already talked about Jobrinia, but didn't record it. So this part is going to be me showing the math for Taikobo and Dobrinia because I just went through her kit and she should be able to do Buster farming as long as she's starting from um, 60, not 50. Okay, so Taikobo in double ruler Scotty Oberon, he is looping just shy. He is looping just shy. Oh, right here. Okay, hang on. Let's undo this because he like it was a hit of overkill. Um, but that isn't even enough to matter. One hit of overkill here was almost 8% increase. Okay. Yeah, so Taikobo's problem kind of is like he's not hitting hard enough on like his MP. Like he's not he needs if he wants to be looping like this, he needs to be killing in the first hit. So like MP1 Taikobo, his looping is just not there. All right. Next will be Nero Bride, and then I'll show off Dobrynia. Okay, so Taikobo, if he's with Nero Bride, he is like looping a lot of his MP, like 68% here. Um, there is an issue though with showing like luckily, um Sky, Divine, yeah. One second, I just need to double check everything before I say it. Okay. So unfortunately, this test is like really, really skewed because we brought Nero Ride. So damage, uh, if you cut this in half, it's 300,000. But this is Taikobo literally getting like everything lining up. Like this is a divine enemy. It's not demonic. So full power mods are not in effect. But the damage for this is like really skewed. Um, but we're not here to talk about his damage. It was all about his looping refund. So right now, he can't do double ruler Scotty Oberon. He is short like 4 MP gain. So I kind of will just retract the statement about he needs 30. If they buff his first skill and they just make AoE 15% MP gain, I'm pretty sure that is enough for him. He will be able to just black rail loop. Um, and he truly was off by just a couple percents. So like him getting even 15% is more than enough. Great, thanks for the follow. So yep. Now for Dobrynia. Okay, so as you can see, I started her off at six. Oh, maybe you can't see, but I started her off at 60. There was a little Buster C that gave how much? Partake the King. So an extra 15% Buster up. But yeah, very surprisingly, um, and she had a negative modifier too. Yeah, so Dobrynia actually outdamages Drake. Um, Drake has way more universal utility though, but this is her MP buff. Holy shit, fix a pretty big issue she had. I hate Dobrynia. Won't stop spooking me on banners. Oof. Sorry, Lucario. All right. This does mean I have to. Oh yeah, no, I don't have to start the recording. We're just gonna go right back to talking about Dobrynia. So, chat, if you were here the first time, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to just run through this real quick. Um. So yeah, even sorry, this recording. Like, I'm just not gonna go through this with the same passion I had the first time. Especially not that I have the tested numbers now too. So 9.8k attack, 10.6, almost 10.7k HP. HP is definitely on the lower side, and I'm still trying to talk with my music playing like a Pepega. Okay, MP charge 0.86%, very similar to year one sabers, but just better hit counts than just any year one servant that had this deck with this gain. There are a bunch of them, but Dobrynia kind of has it better than most of them. Uh, First skill, Guts, debuff immunity, starts per turn. Uh, this skill really could use a buff, and because of how they buffed her MP, it gives wiggle room for them being able to buff other skills than just the third one, so that everyone is like happy at how easy she can like work in the systems. But yeah, this one I think needs to buff the most. Uh, yeah, especially considering she actually can Buster farm. Second skill, 30% arts, 30% Buster, and 50% power mods against Dragon. comboing with another 30, so she has Black Rail against dragons, and that is all dragon enemies, including servants. So against Kiyohime, MHXA, um, M- Momiji, I think that's her other name, Ibuki, and then we have the caster share where she gets full class advantage. She kind of just slaps them around. Like it kind of does make up for the fact that she can't use Black Rail. Like if she's getting Black Rail level power mods, but they're just not being doubled. Unfortunate, but it's nice that she actually can take advantage of this shit. And uh before you had a reason not to use her as a main DPS because like this skill was party wide, but now like it's actually legit to use Dobrynya as like a main DPS. And because her battery situation is like 2020, if you use Oberon's like first skill in like a more boss fight, like I know you probably shouldn't be using Oberon. Yeah, no, you're not using Oberon in like a CQ. Um, but it's like if you're starting from zero with like Black Rail, you are gonna have to do like alternate charge. But again, because she has this level of power mods, uh, you are gonna see diminishing returns. MHXA XX. Uh, oh, you're talking about the dragons. It's because uh, she's a foreigner. You're not really gonna bring a rider to fight a foreigner. Um, yeah, it's like you would probably choose another foreigner or an alter ego. Like for all of these, I mentioned Berserker and Caster just because that's most common use case. Like uh you're not gonna bring Dobrynya to fight either of these two because they're kind of gonna slap the shit out of her. But yeah, 20 battery gear, party crit damage. Before her MP buff, this was an issue. She could not do like any kind of farming besides double Oberon, and that was just bad damage. And not taking advantage of the fact that she had such ridiculous power mods. Because if you double stack this, this is 160% power mods against dragons, as long as you just are in a double coin sky system. Quick up 12%, mag resist A. You are gonna want mana loading, so you don't have to start with K scope. And this is just like extra butter, like you don't really need it besides being able to pop this skill on turn 2. Okay, yeah, no, so that is worth. Yeah, just having like one level of this is enough. Uh, is really all you need. So you just have to have this unlocked, and on JP you can swap appends. So as long as you have at least two unlocked, you're in a pretty good situation. If you only have one unlocked, you kind of just have to pick and choose whether you want to start with K scope or whether you want extra damage on turn 2. Like that's two appends just lets you have both. Yeah. And MP. 4 hit AoE, defense pierce, burn, don't worry about it. Defense down, a lot better, but it's after damage. And then this 10 battery is what allows her to even do the farming because her 20 plus 10 equals 30. And then a little buster on top. So yeah, she is a lot better than I thought. I don't think this is outside the realms of like her actually fitting up there. She does a lot of damage in her niche. And while like her niche is like specific, uh as you can see from this farming here, that no one here is a dragon, she still out damages Drake while having a negative. Hang on. Yes, she out damages Drake while having oh wait. Sorry. Holy shit. No, I am overestimating this. My fucking god, my bad. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. She does not outdamage Drake at all. No, 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 no. Okay. I'm glad I'm seeing this for what it is. This is half the damage. This is yeah. I'm sorry for being misleading as shit, but I did not read this damage right. Um yeah. No, this is half Drake's damage. My bad. I am so glad I caught that. Not even MP5. This list is only MP1. So, oof. Yeah, no, you went from like C or D to B. Yeah. Like I can't like I yeah, it's like extremely niche. When she's at niche, she's A, so I kind of she's still solid, but that is a lot lower damage than I was expecting. No, actually I am going to put her in niche cuz that is so much of her damage. That is a night and day difference. Yeah, no, 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 no. I am so fucking glad I caught that shit. Oh my fucking god, that would have been embarrassing. Okay. Yeah, the data was right. I just completely misread it. Okay. Well, glad I glad I caught it when I did. Next up, Constantine. This was probably one of the this year was just such a huge shakeup. Like they gave so many much needed buffs that like if we truly take it into a vacuum, like this year they buffed so many fucking servants. Like these last few months alone, they basically did another buffing campaign like they do an anniversary. Like it's almost at the point that I think they did buff in the last 3 months at like at least 8 or 9 servants. And half of them were MP buffs too. And that's the wild part. Half of them were MP buffs. Uh yeah, he's one of the characters that got an MP buff. Not in the first half, not in the second half of this year, but definitely in the first half. Base attack is low HP, uh, almost at 14k. MP charge 0.52% with 4 hit arts card, so good, but not super amazing to make up for the fact that he has a Buster MP. But he does have 2 arts cards, so it's not the worst thing. First skill, MP Gen, 50%, taunt to himself, and 20 stars. So like he taunts, and as he gets hit, he gets more MP gauge. Unfortunately, his MP charge isn't at like a base 4 or 5, and because then every hit he get 5% instead of 3. That shit like really does add up depending on what kind of enemy you're fighting. Second skill, 20% attack buff, 20% buster, and crit damage for all Roman allies. Uh, Again, this list not the biggest, but if you pair it with Romulus, Romulus does turn all your allies into Roman allies. Also, Charlie's Roman too. That's awesome. But he only has the one Buster card, so not that awesome. Third skill, 30 battery, crit damage of 30%, 10 stars per turn, and then on death activate buff. So when he dies, these effects. Charges the last ally's MP gauge except himself. So if he's in the middle, you have 1 on 3. He's gonna give this character a battery because he's like out in front and he's protecting the back line. That ally gets 30% crit and 10 stars per turn. So basically, he's basically double popping this skill. It's just he's doing it on someone else now. So again, solid, especially for like esports, but you're probably not using him for esports because this is like the third skill. He would need to be at least level 70 out of 80. Quick up 9%, magic resist 8% or 18%, sorry. Independent action C plus 7.2%. Oh my god. Fucking messing up my numbers like my students in first grade. They're the ones that keep saying like 19 is 9. I mean, they're first graders. What do you expect? Like the kindergartners are still learning what how to write numbers. So Appends, he has the 30 battery. You're definitely gonna want this mana loading, especially for how people use him. He is a setup servant. You use him in his MP in front of other characters. Anti archer, crit damage, extra attack. Like being honest, the only thing that matters is his second skill because he's not like you kind of don't want him to stay around too long. Like that's what this taunt is for. You want him to die, especially the turn you pop the taunt, so you can give this extra shit to the person in the back line. But the thing is, he's probably not dying the turn you MP. So it more goes on to next turn. Yeah, increase. So the buff increase his own Buster performance. This is why so many people thought he was shit because he was not really a DPS, but he was getting a Buster buff. Now he gives it party wide at 30%. He already gives a 20 Buster up. So basically, he gives Merlin level. He basically gives the attack buff and card buff that Merlin gives, and a little bit of crit damage. But that's not all. Also, 100% defense for a turn, 5,000 damage cut for Roman allies. So anyone with the Roman trait is not dying this turn. Pretty much no matter what, you are face tanking most shit. Um, and even still, look at this MP scaling. Like even if the enemy has, like even if you have defense down, like if you manage to get OC5, no matter how much defense down you have, you are still not taking damage. At 100% defense, you don't take damage, and you require defense down to even take damage. Pair that with the damage cut, even if you worse, like even if your defense down is, say they manage to stack up like 120%, at 5,000 damage cut, that still doesn't matter. You're not taking damage. There's no way 20% of the damage you would take is going to be more than or even less or less than 20%, like 20% all the way to zero left pierce defense or defense that actually is effective. Oh, there's a word salad. Like usually like the reason this is like hard to comprehend is just because like there are so few times you ever need more than 100% defense. It is literally the rarest cases. Like obviously, if the enemy has defense pierce, this doesn't do shit. But like that, like not only that, he also gives a party invul that is stackable with other invuls along with MP damage. Like holy fucking shit! Like they took this guy from being like actual dog shit to having like one of the like most cracked MPs for setups. Like it's only because you kind of would want him to die. Like it's actually kind of an issue that he makes your party so tanky, specifically for esports. So you can't like cycle it out that easily. It's definitely possible, but not a great chance. If anything, if you could Changong him, that would kind of help out a lot. Um, like to force the cycle. I'm not saying to do that because this is a very tanky MP, but for Buster in particular, they kind of like to go like really fast. Um, so yeah, like a level one Changong, you just like he MPs, then Changong, and then whoever your other DPS, and then you have Changong's taunt on himself, and then they're definitely gonna have to work a little hard. Like they're gonna have to work really hard to actually kill Chengong, but at least like level one Chengong is either gonna die that turn or next turn. He's not gonna last longer than that. Um, so like if the defense is so high, he's not gonna take damage. Just wait, uh, next turn, and just like he'll die very easily. Yeah, no, like this is there is no other rider that can do anything close to what he does. Like as I know, like he is very, very high ceiling and lower floor. Like it is so easy to mess up with this guy. But there's literally no one else that's gonna do what he does. Especially as a writer. Like even other like the only other servant that does kind of something like this is Himiko, and she's like she buffs Buster, but she's more for Buster crit. Uh Constantine, he buffs crit, but not nearly as much as he's like trying to buff up MP damage. And the higher copy you have of Constantine, the higher this Buster buff goes. So like right now its base is 30, but if you have MP5, he's giving a 70% Buster buff uh that you are probably using in a setup, along with MP damage and attack. Like right, this was the MP buff he absolutely, yeah, no, he absolutely needed this. This is just an awesome damage amp. Like you see this way more with arts than you do Buster. All right, five more. Uh, so Bakin, right? Bakin. Yes, Bakin. All right, so Bakin. When I first saw her, I thought she was supposed to be like does 200%, yes. As long as they don't have defense spear. Sorry, I'm just seeing this now. Lucario. But yes, 200%. As long as they don't have defense spear, like even 100% is enough to stop an MP damage. As long as they don't have as long as you don't have defense down on yourself, you're not gonna take damage. It is almost beyond overkill how much tankiness this is. Like, and especially compared to Europa, that's only 50 for herself. Well, Constantine gives 100% for the entire party. And again, you can make your allies Roman, so any other niches he has, it's kind of fixed. All right, fucking. So a long time ago, I played Okami as like a kid. Never beat it, but like when I saw her like MP ascension, like here, like that's what I was thinking of that game Okami. I wonder if I'll ever go back and play it. Maybe. All right. So base attack is fairly low. HP higher to compensate. MP charge 0.41%. This is a definite pain point because like if you look at her arts cards, they are really bad. These are 0.21, 1.21 effective card gain uh from MP charge, or yeah. Before card buffs, it's 1.23. So not not great, not great. Six extra attack, nice, but again, her base stats are not good. This could be a whole lot worse. Let's not kid ourselves. There are characters in this game that have MP gain at 0.19. They are like it's a good thing those are assassins. And then there's also Gilgamesh. So yeah, his extra attack isn't good either. Um, but yeah, moving on. First skill, 30 battery. Uh, 10% battery for the party. Accept yourself, so it's not like Taikobo. Uh, yeah, no, that Taikobo's is different. And 15 stars. Skills basic, but it's good, really good for multicore. Second skill, targeted card buff. Quick up, arts up, buster up, crit damage, MP damage, heals them, dodge, and debuff immunity. Unfortunately, this is all at 20%. If these were 30, oh my god, she would definitely be a lot better. But right now, we're just like, she's doing so much on this, and it makes sense because it's 8 benevolences and righteousness, 8 effects. it makes sense. Um, but yeah, just lower values than they could be. But makes up for it here. 30% arts up, along with having a party wide charisma is small at 5%, but it's any time she attacks with arts cards, including the MPs. So even just doing like MP, like that's already a 10% attack buff. Um, if you're able to do carding before or after the MP, I highly recommend it just to like ramp this up. But there is always going to be a limit on how high you can get the attack buff. Like realistically, before turn 3, the best you can get is a 20% charisma, which is like that's not nothing. It's still extra attack. Um, but it's not like this has the highest kind of ramp up. Um, I don't remember if this is per enemy though. So I'm gonna double check this after if it's per enemy or not. Because if it's per enemy, it's completely different and it's not a 5% ramp up, it's 15, 15. Um, and then for the final MP, it'll like if you're fighting 3 enemies, it's gonna be another 15, and then you can follow up with more arts cards. So that's definitely something I want to check first, before I move on to the next characters. Writing B, quick up. Magic resist B, 17.5%. Debuff resistance. You are just going to want these two. And then kind of go from there. Anti Foreigner, this is Hokusai. Um, again, if you get extra attack, it's going to clean up and make up for the fact that of her bad base stats. But again, it's not a piece of shit, but you're definitely like putting Febreze on some stinky gym socks. Uh, yes, they're not gonna stink, but you still did not wash those socks, so you didn't do that much. They're gonna get stinkier. They're gonna go back to being stinky later. MP AOE 4 hit, power mod against demonic enemies, super effective against evil alignment, and then 8 stars. So again, I really want to just double check whether or not fucking this is hit based, kind of like Saber Alter, because I think the wording for this is the same. So real quick, this is like I'm not gonna like pause the recording for this. This is literally gonna just take a couple seconds. Like it doesn't even matter. This is not Castoria. Like don't care. I just need to see how many attack buffs. No. Okay. So unfortunately not. Uh he doesn't. I feel like if they buff this skill, that's what they're gonna do. I feel they're just gonna give her faster ramp up, and then if she fights 6 enemies, it's gonna be so fucking stupid. That or that's the reason this is like this, that it's not enemy based, because she could get like ridiculous in 6 enemy content. Yeah, because 6 enemy content, that's you're ramping up 30 attack every turn for your party. Yeah, I could definitely see that. If they want to give her the fun buff, that's what they're gonna do. But I don't think. Yeah, yeah, no, for damage wise, that's why it's not. She's not up here. Gonna be up here as a looper. But yeah, looking at her just looping damage over here, fucking, she's not. She's definitely not the lowest on here, but MP5 Habitrot just blows her out of the water. She does with that, like pretty much everything on this list. Like you kind of just can't compete at MP1 with a 5 star. With welfares at MP5. Santa Nemo does more damage than Habitrot, but Habitrot just has more utility and just is better looping. From my experience, or like the battery situation just was better. But yeah, fucking She's doing better damage than like her competition, but these welfares at MP5, it's just they're that's the reason they might be here down here, but I am not ranking them because of this shit. So for uh okay, yeah. So unfortunate. Now I have to be pick between is she on Odysseus's level or is she on Da Vinci Riders? She's up here for a different reason than Da Vinci. She's here for multi-core, not regular loop farming. She is going to make other characters just work better. And if she only is MPing once, it is what it is. Just like let her get out her arts cards. If she MPs, awesome. If she doesn't, it still is a small attack buff. Um Again, like I really, really have to preface this that she is not up here for looping. Um and even still, I'll just show the looping numbers real quick. Uh, and then Black Rail. Oh no, not Casey, Black Rail. Yeah, again, I'm not gonna pause this time because I'm just kind of too close to being done, and I don't want to make this take longer. Oh, all right, messing up. Yeah, that's fine. Ooh, yeah, no, she is definitely not up here for looping. Like, luckily this works, but oh my god, that short stop's just. Mm. The good news though is like this is not optimal like battery, which is not. Um, oh fuck, why? Oh no, that's 100,000. Yeah, no, that's 100,000, not 200,000. All right, yeah, fucking her looping is just a little bit too scuffed. Not not Achilles level scuffed, but it's still scuffed. And yeah, so if Achilles is up here and his refund is scuffed, like he's also not up here for looping. So yeah, is what it is. Okay, yeah. Wong Fei Hoon. Little lower base attack and HP is no, this is good. This is decent MP HP for a 4-star. Not could be a lot higher, but yeah. MP charge 0.42%, 4 hit arts cards, so this is okay. He is a writer, so he's kind of just expected to crit. Anyway. Ooh. Oof. If you know, you know, you ugh. Yeah. Another reason I'm glad I got this new chair. All right. So yeah, hit counts. They're looking pretty good. Plus the cards at 3 hits, so they might gen a little bit of stars. First skill, arts up for the party, 20%. Buster up for the party, 20%. And he's able to switch his alignment. So the way this works is you have the choice of whether you're gonna pop this skill first or not. If you need, because by default he's chaotic. So if you need this chaotic MP gen, which I highly recommend, because his base gains aren't as good as they could be, this will dramatically help him loop his MP. Like after the fact with carding, and then like after you pop this skill, he'll turn to lawful, and then you just do your Koi and Skya stuff, and then double pop it so you get the lawful too. You'll also get 20% gauge for that, so it'll be 40 when you double stack. Your sucks because the guts is get double stack. Um, but again, you do have that option to do it. And then 30% attack, 30% crit damage, and 10 stars. He's not beating Ozzy. He's not beating Murasaki, but this is still like solid, modern looking 4-star. Passives debuff resistance 12%, quick up 9%, divinity, tickle, buster crit damage 10%, and something similar to existence outside the domain effect wise, but definitely does not get nice uh that nice Van Gogh synergy. But yeah, 22 stars and debuff resistance. So his innate debuff resistance is 22%, which is higher than magic resist A plus, not EX, but it is higher than the base. Skill reloading, definitely. It makes things easier, and you can do this shit turn 2. Like you can double pop for the crit damage. And also pop this turn 2. So yeah, this is really nice. He does not have a battery himself. He gets gauge per turn. So depending on your setup, this may or may not matter. If you plan on just battering him up all the way to full anyway, then you really don't need this. And you can just put it on crit damage. He also has anti-foreigner, but I forget which one. Jock de Malay. MP. 5-hit single target. 10% card buffs that scale to 20, and these last for 3 turns. So again, like he's solid, but all he's really doing is giving himself really good generic buffs. He's not doing anything crazy besides like this swap, and even then, it's not the biggest deal. So you're definitely gonna want this MP Gen though. That is not nothing. It's like it's kind of the reason why his base gain is so low because they gave him like that much MP gain. Um, I want to put him on the same level as Canis, honestly, because it's like Canis does crit and he just does MP spam. Like Canis MPs to crit harder. Uh, he MPs to face card harder and MP harder, but not necessarily crit harder. Yeah. So now we have 3 more. This one I'm really actually gonna have to keep my bias in line for her refund numbers and the ease of it because I have only used this character at MP3. So my uh plus MP3 plus I have to preface. So I really like none of my anecdotes are gonna be like relevant for this list because it's just that is not that's not fair for this list. So Suzuka goes in summer vacation. She is like one of the most put together AoE quick servants. Yes, her refund unfortunately is still tight. It's not until they buff OG Scotty and give her MP gain, that's never going to change. Like the second Quick has MP gain that doesn't come from Nero Bride, and you get the full batteries, is when Quick will like start popping off again. Because a lot of them are just like limited by like they can't loop 50% even one turn. So like it it results in issues. Base attack 9.3k, 11.1k HP, almost 11.2. MP charge 0.55 with better hits on her cards than the last few characters. She has 4 cards to get gains MP with. Her arts cards look fucking fantastic. Like one of the characters, like, and also she has double quick, double art. So if you bring Khazra drop, like it is MP spam central for boss fight. But again, probably gonna use her for farming, unless it's her as a sub DPS. But yeah, like her as main DPS, like whether you're farming or it's like boss fight with like AoE splash mobs, she getting back to her MP shouldn't be an issue. First skill, 20% attack for the party, MP damage for all summer servants of at 20%, 15 crit stars. This on a 5-turn cooldown. Very nice. Takes a giant steaming shit on Artoria OG Saber's what 18% charisma, and that's all it does. When are they buffing that? They've given her so many buffs, yet they refuse to buff the one that is like definitely one that needs to be buffed. Yeah, actually, I'm surprised she didn't get a buff with 20th anniversary. Like, I'm actually surprised a couple of these Fates Day Night Servants didn't get buffs. 20% card buff, which is weak. But she gets 50% crit damage, and every time she crits, she gets a 10% attack buff. So even though she's AoE, it kind of is she's a crit servant with splash damage because she's quick. She's going to get a lot of crit buffs, and this isn't quick crit damage. This is generic crit damage. So even mixing matching Scotties is gonna result in like just better gameplay feel. And also, she only has one Buster card, so you're probably not gonna be using double ruler outside of farming. Third skill, targetable MP gain at 30%, reduces their skill cooldown, and a 30 battery for herself. So she is a quick servant that actually does engage with cooldown reduction, and this skill plus this equals 100% uptime on this. Any other extra cooldown reduction, and you're not going to be double stacking, but your uptime is going to be like almost 100%, if not 100%. Quick up, 10%. Debuff resistance, 12.5%. 6% card buff for arts, and divinity for tickle. You are going to need mana loading. Whether you use skill reloading or not, up to you in more CQ fight or boss. Gonna want this. Not really in farming. It's probably not gonna come up unless things go south. Um, Extra damage against lancers. I believe that's Melisson, even though she was a ruler in this event. Could be wrong about that though. Or it might be Tomomo Summer. I'm actually not sure. I think this actually might be because of Tomomo Summer, Tomomo Shark, because these two have beef from Foxtail. But again, I haven't like fully read Foxtail. Like, I think only like a couple chapters, so I don't actually know how well they know each other. I just know like a lot of servants are pissed at Tomomo for like basically monopolizing the Fox aspect. But I also think like Suzuka's ears didn't they? I don't know. Suzuka is like someone whose lore I'm like not the most familiar. I need to like read Foxtail. Like I know way more about Tomomo than I do Suzuka. All right, MP ignores invincibility 1 turn, power mod against lawful alignment, and super effective against Earth attribute. Awesome niche to have as a farmer. Earth and man are way more common than other attributes, and then lawful alignment. It's just nice to have a power mod. So Suzuka literally has every kind of buff you could actually want for damage. All the little kind of buffs you could give to her will just make her better. You level her up more, get higher copies, and her damage will explode even more. I do think this is fair to put her here and specifically as a looper because but we are going to go through this real quick because again there's issue with me thinking of her because I'm used to like how she performs at much higher copies. But I do believe she's a black rail looper. If I'm not mistaken, she is a black. Yes, she is. So yeah, I just want to check what the refund numbers are at MP1 because again, I'm not super used to it. Ooh. Mm, unfortunate. Okay. Yeah, Suzuka might have to go down. Yeah, I'm being serious about like getting my bias in check for this. Um, yeah, like this is literally the same thing as Achilles, where like she's just not killing in the first hit, and that's the fucking issue. Um, yeah, 16,000. Yeah, it's like yeah, even MP2. Yeah, where's the thing here? Limited to 3x caster. Oh, Oberon doesn't work. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, now I remember. Um, okay. So she isn't. Yeah. No. 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 She's B. For yeah. Right now, it's just unfortunate that her refund is just like slightly under where it needs to be. Like if she's able to kill in the first hit, her refund will get better. But right now, if you're better off using Neurocaster or another Scotty to help her root force. But Oberon just again, if Caster Scotty gets MP gain up, she goes up. She will go up. This is a fact. Like Ruler Scotty does not help her, and quick buffs help your MP gain way less than MP gain would. Like an MP gain buff. So let's talk about the one on this list that actually does go here, or she honestly might even go here, looping wise. We're gonna skip Takeda Shingen because he is definitely going to be someone I need to like do multiple comparisons to. Iskander and who else was it? Ivan. Right. So Andromeda, she is definitely a servant I know a lot of people skipped. Uh, this is a type of servant that is not needed in the game, especially as a writer. Well, no, it does help that she's a writer. It just means she's like She's way, 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 way more tanky than she needs to be. And if she's only fighting one caster, this is where them attacking only twice is actually a negative for her. She really wants them to get the full 3 hits on her. Base attack extremely low for a 5 star. This is way lower than normal and is almost like there are 4 stars that have more base attack than her. But as you can see, the HP is way higher to compensate because she's not an offensive unit, even though she is she is topping this charts. Again, that is because Achilles can't black rail loop. If he could, he would be on top. Because of his bust and P and just higher base stats. But Andromeda is the one that actually can uh double ruler Scotty Oberon, so her base gains are good enough. Yeah, 0.62. Again, her base gains are just that much better that allow does she also have 4 hit? No, 6 hit. Oof. Yeah. Higher base gain, higher hits on her MP. It's why she's just a better farmer. Quick in general at less than 6 hits tend to have the refund issues. Like five is where you really start seeing the refund issues. Like it's always like a little bit. Like if they could just kill in the first hit, it would be better. Yeah. So quick guards, 4 hits. They are decent. Arts cards, 3 hits. They're they could be better, but again, most of her refund is in a CQ is gonna come from her getting hit if it's not her like actual face cards. First skill, 15 stars, and then another 15 stars per turn, 1,000 damage cut for 3 turns, and a 30 battery. This is on a 6 turn. Second skill, taunt to herself for 3 turns at 300%, so equal to what you see with George, what Odysseus can provide, and guts 1 time 3 turns, and then on when she gets hit, this happens. So when she gets hit, she gets 10 battery, and then she also gets stronger crit damage. This is the textbook definition of a tank servant. Like this is what Achilles wishes he could be with like his a little bit of tanking niche. Like Achilles was like kind of the prototype. This is like fully realized. Um and yeah, like literally gets a lot of her own like what she needs just by herself. Is not as heavily reliant on supports as other even other quick units usually are. A lot of them are more reliant on Scotty. She kind of has like her gains, like she has kind of like all her ducks in a row that it just works out better. 30% quick, 30% arts, and 30% NP damage. It's more like most likely case is that the reason her base attack is as low as it is because she just has so many multiplicative buffs that her getting attack like higher attack would just she's supposed to be tanky, but she hits harder than most other characters in her class. 11% quick up, 15% debuff resistance. Desire for a hero. If her guts is activated, she gets a 10% attack buff. Um, so if you can give her other guts, you can get more attack buffs. And then, okay, so this passive, this was probably the most annoying thing in her own event because the chocolate fucking river does not count as water side. So in her own event, they gave her a gimp battlefield that didn't actually like show off how good she actually could be and gave her looping inconsistencies. Um these calcs here are not taken with her actually having the water side. I'm just putting that out there that it's just annoying that she has this passive, yet the event she comes in doesn't like enable the passive. but that was also just 90 plus plus. So I might just be a salty bitch. Pen skills, you're gonna want this. You're going to want this. This is helpful, but she can easily get like the 30. Anti berserker, amazing. And MP, 6-hit AoE, damage to all enemies. Skill seals them, so they have to attack her. Meaning this is a get every time she MPs, it is at least a guaranteed 30 battery because the enemy doesn't have a choice. Unless they resist the skill seal, they have to attack her. And then she also has defense up to go with the damage cut. So even with her getting hit so many times, she doesn't take damage. And then cherry on top, defense down before damage. It really, really fucking sucks that he came out at the time she did. Because it was right after the Samurai Remnant collab, with Takaru being the New Year's servant, Yori, Ushigozen, and then in between that and id, oh wait, no, we had White Day too. Yeah, we had White Day, and then id. Yeah. So it was like literally back to back 2 quick servants, and like Charlie got his buff, and Charlie is just a stronger quick unit than Andromeda. Is what it is. But I really do like her gameplay. I think like this is what a tank character needs to look like. Um and yeah, like she can do solos too. Like this is a very spammable MP because like her base gains are as good as they are. Um the better uptime you have on her skills, the better she is. But you could say that for literally any servant in the game. It just makes her solos better if she has higher uptime. She is not EX though. She is definitely not EX. She does have her problems. And her like it part of it has to do with her crits. Because her base attack is as low as it is, it does mean her crits are definitely gonna suffer for it. All right. Takeda Shingen. And then we're doing the math. So at his initial release, it was definitely a little lackluster. And it more so has to do with AoE riders just not doing a lot of MP damage. They are not known for it. And again, you can see it here. Like 5 stars are like consistently hitting around 210,000. And then you have the exceptions that are at 300,000. Like the exceptions are like truly making it, so they need to be like probably doing a couple more MP buffs or skill buffs to like just make them work better. Because it's like the loopers are the ones that are having issues with their MP damage, not like the ones that aren't meant to be looping. 11.1 base attack, 13.7k HP, MP charge 0.57%, and his deck, a lot of hit counts. A lot of hit counts with the triple buster deck. It would have been it would have been nice if they made this gain higher, but considering his looping is black rail looping, yeah, it doesn't really matter, especially because he'll just face guard after. If he's not if he doesn't have red till instead, it's these two in a mighty chain, and yeah, these are just like again. If his gain was higher, like he probably would be looping his entire MP back. But yeah, again, this extra attack isn't like I think Andromeda's extra attack is probably better, but is what it is. Okay, first skill, and this is important. This part here, 20% attack for the party and reduces skill cooldown by 1. Why is this important? It's because with a pen 5, you're able to pop uh units with a 50 battery on it's a 5 turn cooldown base. It's either 5 or 6 turn. Um yeah, okay. So it's like 50% batteries while unit also has skill cooldown in their kit. They are able to black rail loop. So 30% buster, 50% battery, 20 crit stars. Last skill, invul 3 attacks 3 turns, 500 damage cut, 30% MP gen, which makes up for this number being low. He had MP gain in his kit. Passive skills, quick up 10%, magic resist 12.5% resistance, arts up 5%, and crit attack chance resistance 10%. If you want to do like for his black rail looping, append skills are absolutely mandatory. You cannot do it without them. Uh, uh, yeah, I also think mana loading too. MP 8 hit AOE, MP seals them, and then res down for quick arts and buster, and this activates first. So whether he's doing a buster brave chain or a mighty chain, all his cards are going to be doing as like they are all getting card buffs. So before I place Takeda Shingen, because he's a black rail looper, he's gonna go in A plus. But we have to decide which one of these three is gonna go in EX because it is gonna be between these three. So let me just get his black rail looping uh kitted out, and then we'll do Ivan and Iskandar, and then we are done with this. Okay, so from what I remember of Iskandar's damage, this is like very comparable to it. Um, but this is also with a positive modifier. So take it. He is doing above 300,000. I think this is like pretty close to like 300,000 flat. Uh, taking this into account. So like that's still again like regardless if it's the highest, that is still beats off everything that's listed here. But this is a non-standard looping comp. Most people are not used to looping with double Oberon. Oh my god, I'm still talking with this. I forgot to turn off the music again. All right, so yeah, he's doing like 300, around 300,000. Don't feel like doing the conversion right now. Um, so real quick, we're just gonna do this with Iskandar, and I'm kind of even hesitating like doing this for Ivan. Like Ivan kind of like gets higher just because he has power mods against servants. Um, yeah, so if you're not fighting servants, Ivan kind of drops off. But again, you can say that for a lot of servants that have super effective. Um, yeah, so Iskandar. I don't get why this isn't like it's ranking should be like showing up first there. Or is it? There you are. Nope. Um, or do you want sumo with him? No, no, no. This should be fine. All right, and then swap to Boyan. All right. Yeah, we'll do back to back turns. All right. Oh shit! Forgot about the battery. Yep, there we go. Okay, so Takeda Shingen does hit harder than a Skandar. Takeda Shingen, all of his buffs are 5 turns too. I mean 3 turns. Yeah. So Iskandar, he is hitting like around 300,000, but unfortunately, like it's not it's not enough. So Takeda Shingen, you go to EX. Um and last thing, we're just gonna show off Ivan, but this isn't gonna be like showcasing Ivan at his best either, because this is not it's not a servant. So here, here, and then give you sumo. All right. Yeah, the problem with uh Takeda Shingen, with him doing like pretty bad turn 2 damage, it's just a product of double Oberon. However, like he does have face guards he can rely on. Um so even if it's low damage, like he like might like he could either do a Buster Brave Chain and like crit pretty hard, or he is like actually getting his game up. Uh yep, I'm still accepting friend requests on JP Shoko. I'll be logging in on JP like pretty soon though. If you want me to add you. Okay. And yeah, Ivan, if he's not fighting a servant, doesn't do as much as he could. He's good, but he is heavily reliant against fighting servants. So even like in like a 90 plus plus, there is concern about like him not just not doing enough damage. All right, so this is the list. Um, yeah, I'm happy with this. I think Nemo has to be a niche like at this point. If they're never gonna allow him to make things waterside, then they're like he can't be anywhere else but niche. Um, yeah, I'm happy with this. All right, yeah. Uh, put it here, and then now try and save. All right, yeah. No, this isn't gonna let me. Okay. Um, yeah, this is what I have for the list. Hope you guys enjoyed. I want to relax tonight, and then tomorrow I'm putting together my new desk. Peace. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed, drop a like or sub. Hope to see you in the next one. Peace.